Since LEGO was established and became one of the biggest companies in the world, they've had hundreds of fails. So today we're going to be going over the 100 most embarrassing flops and fails from LEGO over the last 91 years, starting with super jumpers. Have you ever wondered if you can send your minifigure soaring through the air with just a tap? Well, that's what the super jumpers were all about. You see, back in 2015 to 2016, these cool elements were included in many LEGO superhero sets from Marvel and DC. But there was a catch because over time, it turned out that these super jumpers were causing damage to the actual minifigures. Reddit became a hub for builders warning others about this issue, and consequently, LEGO had to yank these elements from future sets to prevent more LEGO legs from being broken. So of course, while the idea did take off, it didn't exactly stick the landing. Next is LEGO Znap. Znap was a theme that made its debut in 1996, but sadly didn't make it into the new millennium. And a quick glance at this thing reveals that it was an attempt to emulate another popular toy line's success. What Znap did was introduce sets that use various beams and Technic connections, hoping to strike a chord with some builders. However, it did turn out that these creations could have been better achieved with standard Technic or system bricks. And even though some of the beams might have found their way into other builds, none stayed in official products, and in the end, Znap failed to snap with the crowd. Another really bad joke. LEGO Photo. Have you ever wondered about LEGO's first foray into the world of apps? Well, say hello to LEGO Photo, launched back in 2010. This right here was LEGO's way of trying to get into the mobile software space, aiming to transform your photos into LEGO mosaics. And an easy way to think of it would be looking at it as an early version of today's LEGO Mosaic Maker. But alas, the results weren't exactly mind-blowing, and it was very clear that the technology back then struggled to capture the finer details of photos. However, this experimental app planted a seed that would later sprout into a more successful product. Talk about inspiration. Next is the 8456 Fiber Optic Multiset. In the realm of technological innovation, the 8456 Fiber Optic Multiset stands out, but not for the right reasons. This venture ended up costing the LEGO group more than if the sets had sold well, and they were completely unaware of it. LEGO designer Mark Statford shared a surprising tidbit in a Reddit comment from 2014. These sets featured the LEGO Micromotor and fiber optic kits, and incredibly, sourcing these parts cost more than the entire set's price. And as a result, each 8456 Fiber Optic Multiset was a financial loss for LEGO, making it a far cry from a successful experiment. Light up lightsabers. Oh boy. Picture this, LEGO Star Wars lightsabers that actually light up. I'm not joking. Sounds like a fantastic idea, right? I mean, who wouldn't buy it? Well, in theory, yes, but in reality, there was a major glitch with it. The specially molded minifigures designed to hold these illuminated lightsabers came with a big catch. Well, what would you do if the batteries ran out? And of course, fans who did encounter this issue found themselves disassembling the minifigures and electronics, with some suffering permanent damage in the process. So it's sure as hell no surprise that these minifigures didn't make it past 2006, the year that they were introduced. I mean, bro, if you had this thing, what would you do if it ran out of battery? Then it's just worthless. LEGO Master Building Academy. Replacing the LEGO Brickmaster magazine, the LEGO Masters Building Academy theme came with a twist. And I would know this because I used to collect a lot of these old LEGO magazines. Subscribers used to receive exclusive sets with each magazine in the Brickmaster subscription. Though pricier than the Brickmaster magazine subscription, it offered a more comprehensive experience. And this initiative kicked off in 2011 and only lasted till 2013, mostly available in the USA. Perhaps LEGO is just testing the waters before a wider rollout, but who knows? Next though is LEGO Hidden Side. Back in 2019, LEGO introduced to us a spooky augmented reality world with the Hidden Side theme. It was all about chasing ghosts and bringing the toys to life through an app on your phone. The concept was pretty cool. I mean, physical sets merging with digital gameplay in a hidden side of AR, or augmented reality. Sadly though, the thrill didn't last long, as the theme was phased out by late 2020, and even in 2021, you could snag these sets on clearance, often at hefty discounts of 30 to 50%. I mean, they didn't even care about these anymore. But many folks do still prefer the good old physical LEGO buildings without the AR twist. LEGO Trolls World Tour. In 2020 this time, LEGO joined forces with the Trolls World Tour, a musical adventure by the Universal Pictures DreamWorks Animation. Unless you're a little kid, you probably don't like this movie Trolls. I mean, who does? And with a budget of $100 million and only $50 million at the box office, yeah, things didn't quite go the way they should have. Mediocre movie ratings as well likely affected the LEGO Trolls World Tour set's popularity. Much like its VIDIYO counterpart, you could likely find these sets at some nice discounts from various retailers. And it seems that even LEGO's Magic couldn't save this musical theme from facing some sour notes. But what is LEGO VIDIYO? Well, it was a musical journey that was kicked off in 2021, offering a unique music video maker experience in collaboration with Universal Music. The sets integrated augmented reality again and dedicated an app to breathe life into the music. Some VID IYO sets felt light on pieces considering their prices. Consequently, you could also find these sets on sale as the theme didn't quite strike a major chord with fans. So the VID IYO stage didn't quite light up as expected, leaving these musical sets waiting for the spotlight. Yeah, they just did bad. Now this next one does hit home for me because I feel like everyone has tried this. LEGO Dimensions. Q 2015 when LEGO teamed up with Traveler's Tales and Warner Brothers for LEGO Dimensions, a sort of augmented reality extravaganza. This theme starter pack included both the video game and the physical LEGO toys as well, with additional level of character packs. And while some did enjoy the video game aspect, like me, I mean, who didn't like LEGO games? The toys to life concept didn't fully resonate, leading to modest sales. I mean, competing with Skylanders is no joke. So licensed minifigures in the sets had their moments, but due to underwhelming performance, LEGO Dimensions wrapped up in just 2 to 3 years, leaving its AR adventure behind. And it's kind of sad because I used to have one of these things and it was really cool. But again, you can't compete with Skylanders. LEGO Angry Birds. Remember when LEGO and the Angry Birds app joined forces in 2016? 6 LEGO Angry Birds sets debuted alongside the Angry Birds movie. And to say the least, it was a bit odd without the traditional LEGO minifigures for the birds. I mean, just look at this thing. What is this? The theme only lasted up until 2017, but timing may have played a role because LEGO's partnership might have been more impactful if it had occurred during the app's peak popularity. I mean, imagine when Angry Birds just came out and it was super popular and then they did it. I mean, I guess better late than never, right? Still though, regardless, the unique shapes of the Angry Birds pose challenges in adapting them to the traditional minifigure format. So although these might have not done as well as you think, I mean, I love them. I used to have a few of these sets and they were pretty fun. I mean, I was a big Angry Birds fan. But it is important to remember, just if a set failed or didn't do that well, that doesn't mean that some people didn't love it. Because I did, and you might have loved it too if you have one. Now for LEGO Aqua Raiders. Underwater adventure sank quickly in 2007 with the LEGO Aqua Raiders. This short-lived theme, lasting only 1 year, had just 7 sets released. It revolved around a treasure hunting team facing off against sea creatures like sharks and lobsters. But perhaps the lack of a compelling storyline contributed to its downfall. And it's important to note that the underwater world wasn't even fully explored in this iteration. LEGO did redeem itself somewhat though with the Atlantis theme in 2010, which stayed afloat for a couple years before it too also dove into the depths of the past and didn't do well anymore. This one's a weird name, Gladiator Nick 4040. This set allegedly showcases Nick, but let's be real, it feels like a budget version of a bigger set. Fun fact, actually, it was a promo gift from McDonald's, which explains the subpar quality too. It's really a head scratcher why LEGO put their name on something that screams cheap. The rest of the Gladiator series does slightly better, of course, but that fake vibe does still stay there. Not quite what we expected from the LEGO group for sure, but I don't know, maybe you had a Happy Meal and had one of these on accident. Time Cruisers Hypno Cruiser 64921853. Alright, time to buckle up for this time traveling ride. The Hypno Cruiser, as Brickopedia affectionately informs us, boasts a cowcatcher-like construction and a spot for Time Cruisers hats. What does that mean? Honestly, where do I even begin with this insanity? It honestly looks like a Toller's dream car design competition entry, propeller, whirly wheels, and maybe that's not even wheels, and more wheels, and what's going on with this? The level of madness defies description for sure, and maybe it's just a futuristic carnival ride on wheels. I mean, who knows? I don't know what was going on here, and I really don't know what LEGO was thinking either. Mr. Bunny 171. Seasonal sets are supposed to be cute, right? Well, hold on, not so fast. In 2003, LEGO blessed us with the Mr. Bunny. This yellow creature with blue pants, a red shirt, and a red hat is basically a Monty Python nightmare. 25 pieces might not sound like much, but trust me, Mr. Bunny will haunt your dreams for years. And although some folks might find him charming, but personally, he's just the no thanks category for me. Police Unit 3314. Diving into the oddities of LEGO's past, we find the Police Unit 3314 set. It got mixed reviews online, but here's for the wacky factor and bizarre context that you so desperately need. This set did decent on its own and does feature police vans and 4 minifigures. But get this, it was a part of the Shell Garage promotion for the 1998 World Cup. You know, the sets for a stadium, stages, a commentary box, light poles, and then bam, riot police. Because nothing screams soccer celebration like law enforcement in bricks, right? So all in all, this set was kind of random with how it approached things and didn't do the best. Jack Stone Super Glider 46121435. Hold on, because we've stumbled upon what some call the worst LEGO set ever, the Jack Stone Super Glider. And despite its packaging attempt to jazz things up, this set crashes and burns. It's got a Jack Stone minifigure and a hand glider with a whopping 5 parts that look straight out of a discount store. I mean, would you even believe that it got a second chance as a giveaway by a Japanese confectionery company? Yup, it was that unloved and even free, you say? Still not not worth it. Like, even when it was free, people didn't want it. Like, it's just, like, who cares? Imperial Star Destroyer 130. Once again, back in 2002, LEGO graced us with the Imperial Star Destroyer 130 from the Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series, or UCS, and a whopping 3,096 pieces for $270. And once it left the LEGO market, it skyrocketed in value. Now, if you are itching to build this behemoth, be ready to drop a whopping $2,500 for the 3,104 piece assembled through third-party suppliers. This Star Destroyer holds a significant place in the Star Wars universe, particularly A New Hope. The prospect of assembling a 37-inch long and 23-inch wide masterpiece might intrigue you, but don't expect turbo lasers or a tractor beam projectors to wow you, because as once it's assembled, it's for display only and not for play. Anyways, I don't know why LEGO took this off. It wasn't really a fail. People liked it, but I guess there was just something about it. Market Street 10190. Flashback to 2007 when LEGO dropped the Market Street 10190, part of the Creator Expert Modular Building Series. What a long name. But here's the plot twist. Don't consider spending over $2,700 on this one, because it did originally only cost around $150, like its series mates Pet Shop, Grand Emporium, Cafe Corner, and Palace Cinema. Yet this model, standing at about 13 inches, feels like the odd one out for some reason. Features like removable balconies, spiral staircases, and awnings become repetitive compared to the other detailed models in the series. Staircases, windows, and street lights feel pretty basic against the Cafe Corner's intricate charm, and I still don't know why this is $2,700, but it somehow failed. Going back to Star Wars, this is Yoda 75255. Ah, Yoda, an iconic Star Wars figure. But the 1,771 piece Yoda set isn't exactly a masterpiece, and I'll explain why. Geared for those 10 and up, it's a tough challenge for the young ones, and standing at 16 inches tall with a $99.99 price tag, it's not all green lightsabers and wisdom. Very bad joke, I know, I'm sorry. Sure, Yoda's got a posable head, impressive eyebrows, and even posable toes and fingers, but there is a lack of symmetry beyond those eyes and ears, plus the hollowness inside makes keeping him upright a bit of a balancing act. With less detailing due to fewer pieces, some might even find the price a bit steep, while young builders might struggle with the same colored pieces. It's just not great. It could have been good, but it just wasn't great. So, for a Star Wars set, it did pretty bad. Scala Summer Days Out. Meet the oddball from the 1998 Scala series, the Summer Days Out 3121. It's got a spooky baby in a pram and a Dalmatian that's strangely larger than the child. Equipped with an umbrella, teddy bear, and picnic set, it's a weird mix of creepy and also cute, but it's the oversized dog and the eerie baby that makes this weird. I mean, this baby Thomas seems ready to ditch the pram and ride the dog into an alternate universe. Seriously, I mean, he really stares into your soul. I mean, Jolly Santa 30478. 2017, once again, LEGO gave us the Jolly Santa, but something's off about him. That beard. Santa's got a blocky beard that's more ominous than festive, and it's like he's been gagged to keep his naughty and nice secret safe. My collection of LEGO Santas all seem jollier than this one for some reason, with its oddly hospital-like mask-like beard. Anyways, let's just hope that this year brings a less sinister version of Saint Nick. And yeah, something is definitely off about this Jolly Santa, and I don't think many people have it for that reason. The Sith Infiltrator. Remember the Sith Infiltrator from the Star Wars Episode 1? No? Well, that's probably because it wasn't that memorable. You see, in 1999, LEGO introduced the Sith Infiltrator 7151, but it failed to ignite fan excitement. With only 243 pieces, it was simple and had oddly placed blue pieces for a starship that was gray in the movie. Like, why would you do that? Fast forward to the new versions of the Sith Infiltrator and even the Sith TIE Fighter 75272 that have eclipsed this simplistic model. Aside from Darth Maul, there are also just black-headed droid probes, and this model offers limited interaction, mostly housing the Sith Lord, and they just messed up big time. They could have done this better, and for that reason, it failed. Belleville Garden Fun. Traveling all the way back to 1996, let's have a look at the Belleville Garden Fun set 5820. It showcases a girl on a swing, and apparently she's having a blast in her garden. Now, Belleville sets have a thing for pink, but the real question is, how does this make for a good set? Despite swings being a playground hit, this one falls flat for me. Even the girl herself looks like she'd rather be anywhere else, and that vague cat-shaped blob doesn't seem impressed either. Also, swing safety lessons appear to be missing. I mean, my mom would never allow me to be so reckless. I don't even know if it did that well. Next, though, is the NHL Slammer Stadium. Remember back in the early thousands when LEGO ventured into sports-themed sets? Enter the NHL Slammer Stadium catastrophe. It featured sentient giant head statues from Easter Island playing hockey. But that's not the worst part, because the rink itself was a flimsy cardboard sheet surrounded by even flimsier walls. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if LEGO did just have better materials for this endeavor? I mean, I'm sure it would have done better. But yeah, unless you're a hockey fan too, I'm not really sure how this one sold, but it definitely failed somewhat. Back to Star Wars though, because this is Star Wars Assassin Droids Battle Pack 8015. Back in 2009, oh my god, back in all these years, the Star Wars Episode 2, the Clone Wars line, dropped the Assassin Droids Battle Pack with 94 pieces. It came with a speeder, an assassin droid, plus an elite assassin droid minifigure. The droids have potential, creativity, assembled with existing parts for their bodies. And in comparison to the real deal, they're plausible, but it is their faces that does leave me wondering. No features? I mean, Faceless does capture it perfectly, but still, just a small little Lego pack, and I don't know if it even sold that much, but I'm not too sure with this one for a Star Wars set. Everyone's favorite animal, the kangaroo. Creeping its way into the list from August 2015, the Kangaroo 40133 is a limited edition from the monthly mini model build event. It's a one-day 250 models per store affair, which means at least we won't be haunted by the hordes of these eerie kangaroos. I mean, my sleep just got a bit better, I hope. But anyways, yeah, just a small little set. Didn't really sell too well, but unless you love kangaroos and you're maybe even from Australia, you might have this. Town Square Castle Scene 1592. Step back to 1983 for the Town Square Castle Scene 1592, released only in the UK and Netherlands. A bright yellow castle oddly plopped in a town square is the name of the game here, and it's kind of weird for that. This set's got a horse, or what we'd assume is a horse at least, and well, before LEGO mastered realistic horses, we're just left with this black smudge that, as a horse pulling a cart, a toddler could even craft it. Time hasn't been kind to the set either, and that's for sure. Not many people have this thing, let's just be real. Back to hockey though, because this is the hockey game set 3544. Circa 2003, LEGO offered a sports set featuring hockey with the hockey game set as a tiny piece. And of course, here's the twist: the players aren't minifigures. Instead, they're just an assembly of Technic pieces. And what was the result, of course? Well, the players give off a Friday the 13th vibe, faceless, armless, and with hockey sticks in intriguing positions. It's a mystery I'm too afraid to unravel, and it was just kind of like a small little exclusive set. So obviously, it was like a one-time thing, and that's pretty much it. Fabu Land Big Band. What a weird name. Let's rewind the clock back to 1979. I think the earliest here, when LEGO introduced the Fabu Land line, a curious blend of Duplo and traditional LEGO sets featuring adorable anthropomorphic animal characters. But picture this: a whimsical world inhabited by these charming creatures, a bit like something you'd imagine Hunter S. Thompson might have just conjured up while under the influence of something. Let's just say something. But the real gem in this lineup is the Fabu Land Big Band set, a musical extravaganza starring none other than Peter Pig and Gabriel Gorilla. Now hold on to your hats, because this band features just a drummer and a tuba player. I mean, who would have thought a musical act could thrive on such unusual combinations? It's like a delightful monster mashup that only LEGO could bring to life. Who bought this? Really, let's just be real here. The Burge Khalifa. So jumping ahead to 2011, LEGO unveiled the Burge Khalifa as part of its architecture series. When you think of iconic skyscrapers, this towering structure easily comes to mind with its dazzling height and sleek architectural design. So of course it was a no-brainer for LEGO to turn this modern marvel into a buildable masterpiece. Who wouldn't want a mini Burge Khalifa in their room, made out of LEGO too? However, another twist, here it is. While the set does capture the essence of the building, the actual construction might remind you of a toddler's imaginative stacking session. I mean, imagine using a bunch of those 1x1 round gray bricks stacked in various heights to create columns. And and don't forget a sprinkling of other bricks too for stability and the base. Now, here's the kicker though. A whopping 112 of those gray 1x1 round bricks that I was joking about earlier make up over half of the total piece count. I'm not joking. Just to add a little more salt to the wound, the price per piece was on the premium side. But hey, it's still a nod to the architectural wonder in brick form, so I gotta give credit where credit is due, and maybe it did sell a little bit better because it's just so iconic. This next one is just called Santis. Now, let's step into the realm of medieval fantasy with Santis, a member of the castle theme. LEGO is all about the compatibility, letting you seamlessly combine sets to create your own universe. I mean, we know this stuff. But Santis does throw a curveball with its larger-than-life size, more action figure than a typical LEGO set. And here's the hiccup with all this. Due to its disproportionate dimensions, its playability does take a hit. It's like fitting a giant into the world meant for regular-sized minifigures. Doesn't really make sense. Not only that, but the design feels a bit simple, and the paper shield isn't exactly the most sturdy thing either. Sure, you can have Santis take on Lord Vladik, but that means diving into another equally questionable set. But anyways, both these characters hailed from the Knights Kingdom 2 sub-theme, known for its over-the-top fantasy elements and its rainbow-hued knights that didn't quite match a traditional castle vibe anyways. So who actually has this set? Probably no one, and it didn't do well. I'm assuming, at least. Let's go over to DC, because this is the Joker. Now let's talk about the DC universe a bit with the Joker 4527, because this set does take an action figure approach, which is a bit jarring in the LEGO universe where versatility is key. But what's more, it's made up of peculiar pieces that don't quite fit into the typical LEGO building repertoire. So what am I basically saying? Well, many of these parts are unique to the set exclusively, which can drive up the price per piece, making it one of the more pricier options in the DC themed LEGO sets. And guess what? There were a couple more colossal characters in this style too. Batman 4526 and Green Lantern 4528. And if you're on the hunt for the most quirkiest and most oversized re-renditions of your favorite DC heroes and villains, well, look no further and try to get one of these, but just try not to spend a lot of money because they do cost a lot, I would assume. Arog in the Dark Forest. Time to whip out the wands and enter the magical world of Harry Potter once again, because the Arog in the Dark Forest 4727 set takes us back to the earliest days of Harry Potter LEGO sets, launching in 2002, just a year after the theme's inception. While we could excuse its primitive design due to its age, of course, that's not the whole story with this thing. You see, there were other stellar sets that held up around the same time, and now let's just get to the nitty-gritty. Arog in the Dark Forest was far from a stellar set. Even back then, it hasn't aged like fine wine like some people might think. It's a small set, but the building experience does also fall just a bit flat. Arog himself just feels somewhat blocky and lacks the, the uniqueness you would expect from a LEGO creature. And that cobweb trap, well, it's a bit perplexing with no clear entry or exit. So yeah, for a Harry Potter set, it's very underwhelming. Now this one is something we all know, Adidas Original Superstar. Last but not least, we step into the world of fashion meets LEGO with the Adidas Original Superstar, a part of the Icons theme, or formerly the Creator Expert. This theme does target the discerning adult collector, aiming for excellence in its design and detail. So it is a bit of a head scratcher to find that a shoe is the centerpiece of a LEGO set. Now, don't get me wrong, the construction and design are impressive, capturing the essence of the real deal. But the question arises, why a shoe? With a world full of iconic structures and vehicles, opting for a model shoe might just seem a bit tad odd. Like why would you do a shoe out of all things? Still, for those who are fashion forward folks, displaying a LEGO shoe at home might be a perfect statement piece. And after all, the diversity is what makes the LEGO universe so endlessly intriguing, but I don't know if it's sold that well unless you really love Adidas shoes, then it's different. I mean, if they had a Yeezy LEGO set, I might buy it. The Homungasaur. It's so weird. In 2010, we were graced with the LEGO 8517 Homungasaur set, a part of the Ben 10 series. Unfortunately, it's often regarded as one of the less appealing offerings. Marketed as a constructible action set, this figure was supposed to be versatile and engaging. However, it ended up being a bit of a letdown. With just 14 pieces, this set attempted to capture the essence of the Homungasaur, yet the result was a figure that left you scratching your head trying to figure out how exactly what it was. It lacked a sense of balance with hollow back limbs, making it look rather awkward in any pose you really could imagine. And those spindly arms and legs, they just didn't add up. The overall design lacked versatility once again, making it not so ideal for display purposes. And reviews weren't kind either, and the general consensus was that the Homungasaur was a bit of a dud in the LEGO lineup. So yeah, kind of an L on LEGO's part. Back to Technic sets with the Technic C3PO, a version of the beloved Star Wars droids that's, well, a bit different this time around. It seems like I'm not the only one either who thinks that this take on C3PO is just a tad bit strange. The design choice to go with mostly black parts gives our Golden Protocol droid a rather eerie appearance. Not to mention that this version has a bit of a wobbly nature to it, with reviews pointing out that the limbs tend to fall off very easily and the reattachment isn't a breeze either. Well, what's the highlight then? Well, the highlight of this droid is a button in the middle that lets you simulate C3PO's demise. Unfortunately, it seems like this feature struggles to function even properly with a low playability and less than glowing reviews. This C3PO variant finds its place among the less well-received LEGO Star Wars sets, and again, with all of these LEGO Star Wars sets, this is on the low of the low end. We're almost done, but this is the Eternals Aerial Assault set. Marvel's Eternals Aerial Assault offers young superheroes a chance to dive into the world of Marvel Studios' The Eternals film. And of course, the movie didn't do that good, I don't think. However, the minifigures that come with the set left much to be desired. Instead of unique creations, they seem to just be a medley of recycled parts from other figures. Like, they didn't really try to make an effort with this. I mean, just an example, Icarus's face mirrors that of Hawkeye and Han Solo. The Flying Deviant figure too, well, a central part of the set, came across as a rather silly, and the color scheme didn't do any favors to it either. I mean, just look at this thing. Building this set wasn't a walk in the park either, as many reviewers found it to be quite the challenge. much. On the bright side though, the box does stand out visually, but overall this Eternals theme set struggled to capture hearts and minds, earning a spot among the lowest rated Marvel offerings. I mean, out of all the Marvel sets, again, this is at the lowest of the low. Who would want this set, bro? Just give me a Hulk figure, bro. I'll go crazy. A game that everybody loves, Minecraft, and this is the end set. Back in 2013, LEGO introduced us to its Minecraft series with Trillo of mini-scale sets, including the End, or 21107. Now, mini-scale sets can be a bit polarizing, especially when the majority of the theme is dedicated to minifigure scale model, and the End doesn't quite measure up as its standalone piece, lacking both visual appeal and the play value of it as well. While LEGO does have some excellent smaller sets that do shine on their own, the End falls short, and even in comparison to other mini-scale offerings, it's just not the best. Like, they could have done a lot better. And for those that are not deeply committed to their Minecraft collection, this set might not hold much allure beyond completing it. And finally on the list, we have the ATX Sports Cycle set. The world of LEGO Technic is known for its intricate models with intricate movement as well. Towards the more affordable end of the spectrum though, the Technic sets still strive to provide solid play and display value as well. I meant to say display value. Wow, I messed up. However, the ATX Sports Cycle, which emerged back in 1993, stands as a notable exception to all of this. It's a far cry from resembling a real-life vehicle. Let's just put it that way. A lack of curved parts during that era didn't aid its design either, but the set itself could have made better use of just the available bricks at the time. Also, the wheels seemed a bit too small for the chassis, and the lack of moving parts aside from the pair of front shock absorbers left enthusiasts just disappointed with the set. LEGO ended up never revisiting the ATX-based concept for this reason, likely a wise move given that the lukewarm reception of this set received was just not good, and it failed. Pirate chess set mistake. This took place back in 2015 where LEGO released a Pirates chess set with the incorrect order of the chessboard checkered pattern. The sets had a white square in the bottom left corner rather than the black square that should have been there. I mean, everybody knows how a chess set should look like. So LEGO resolved the mistake by releasing a corrected version of the set with the black square in the bottom left corner. Moving on though, now we have the LEGO Ideas WALL-E flaw. We all know the movie WALL-E, you know, the little robot yellow guy who, he's just trying to save the environment, picking up flowers and stuff. But LEGO actually had a major error with this one, because this set specifically was one that had fans across the entire world waiting in anticipation for its release. Everyone just couldn't wait to build their very own vision of their beloved robot and recreate their favorite scenes from the actual Disney Pixar film or movie, whatever you want to call it. But of course, there was a major issue. When the first initial batch of sets hit the store shelves, fans were left scratching their heads because WALL-E's neck was unstable and caused him to look rather gloomy, if you will. It was almost as if WALL-E himself had lost all hope. I mean, he looked depressed and the disappointment was very visible on him. But just like the robot in the film, LEGO didn't give up. They quickly got back to work, tirelessly improving the design until WALL-E's neck was finally fixed and as sturdy as ever. Yeah, no more this guy. But now it's time for the next major design flaw, the LEGO Minifigures Series 15 recall. The LEGO Minifigures Series 15 was highly anticipated by collectors and enthusiasts alike. With its nice, vibrant range of characters from the Tribal Warrior to the Shark Suit guy, the series was set to be a hit. However, something messed up once again. Just as quickly as the minifigures appeared on store shelves, they disappeared almost instantly, leaving many wondering what actually happened. With some actually speculating that a pop star had filed a lawsuit claiming copyright infringement for the shark costume minifigure, and while others suggested that maybe an unusually high number of the minifigure packs included double parts. But regardless of the situation, it doesn't matter, because LEGO was once again quick to take action and temporarily recalled the entire series until the situation was fully resolved. And while the recall may have caused a bit of a stir at the time, it's a testament to LEGO's commitment to quality and safety for the fans. But what about this design fail, the Power Function IR Speed Remote Control recall? In the world of LEGO, even the most basic components can be the cause of a recall. The Power Function IR Speed Remote Control was one such example. This remote control was sold as a separate product or as a part of the Power Functions and Emerald Night Train LEGO kits. Basically, it was an add-on to an already existing LEGO set. But again, after selling almost 1,000 units, LEGO began to receive reports that the control was heating up after users inserted the batteries. While no one was actually hurt, the potential hazard was enough to send LEGO into a recall frenzy once again, trying to retract as many of these controllers or controls, whatever you want to call them, as possible. But now let's take a look at the Mickey Mouse Steamboat Willie mistake. Yeah, this is a big one. The set was created as a part of the 90th anniversary of Mickey Mouse, and it actually featured a completely monochromatic design, including a black and white Lego version of the steamboat from the original cartoon. I mean, yeah, we've all seen this clip right here. We've seen it at the start of almost every Disney movie. It doesn't matter though, because even with all the excitement to release the first batch of sets, the producers made a significant mistake. They mistakenly labeled the set as the 24th Lego Idea set when it should have been marked with the number 25. I mean, how do you mess that up? This error would have made no sense because as number 24 was already in the LEGO Ideas Flintstone set. I mean, this wasn't a Flintstone set, this was Mickey Mouse. But in true LEGO fashion, they turned this mistake into an opportunity. The printing mistake actually increased the retail value for the lucky few people who got to purchase one of these sets with the mistake on them. People who had this set before LEGO took it back made a lot of money selling them. And just a few months after the release, LEGO corrected the number error, ensuring that future collectors would have a set with the correct numbering and ones that they could be proud of. And for the next one, it actually wasn't too long ago. It's the canceled set of the LEGO City Crooks Hideout Raid. LEGO actually canceled this set due to it not aligning with the brand's values of making sets that depict the reality of the world in a way that is fun, positive, and appropriate for kids. It had yet another set featuring an officially licensed model of the Boeing V-22 Osprey aircraft, and it was canceled because it had undeniable tie to the military. And that of course goes against LEGO's policy of not creating sets that closely resemble military vehicles. I mean, they want the best accuracy. And finally, the Gray Bricks recall. In 2017, once again, LEGO recalled 120,000 Star Wars themed LEGO sets due to the inclusion of the wrong shade of gray bricks. The mistake was made by a single employee. That's right, one single person who accidentally packed the wrong color bricks into the affected sets, resulting in a whopping loss of over $6 million in potential revenue. However, LEGO did not punish the employee, surprisingly actually, and instead spent $60,000 on better lighting for the LEGO staff to package products and, not make the same mistake again. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga had become quite a fan favorite over the years. However, despite its success, it seems that the positive response wasn't enough to secure the fate of various other LEGO projects. Nintendo Life also reported that TT Games had pulled the plug on several upcoming ventures, including an undisclosed Disney project codenamed Project Marley. This game was rumored to showcase multiple worlds and Disney characters from Jungle Book, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Pirates of the Caribbean, Toy Story, and Frozen. Essentially a LEGO version of Dreamlight Valley. Unfortunately, it seems TT Games faced many challenges in steering the direction of the project, and the success of Dreamlight Valley may have been a deciding factor. Project Marley was supposedly 4 years into development and it got cancelled. But another canceled project is Project Cosmic, believed to be LEGO Guardians of the Galaxy. And this game was reportedly 18 months into development, marking another significant setback. However, it's not all bad news. The Mandalorian DLC for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, although rumored to be in jeopardy, hasn't been outright canceled officially. Unlike the other character packs TT Games that predominantly released, the Mando DLC aimed to introduce a new narrative to the LEGO Star Wars universe. It's disappointing to see these projects face setbacks, especially considering the creative potential they held, but hey, let's not hope anything else gets canceled. But that's it for LEGO games. Now let's move on to themes. LEGO Adventurers. It's June 1998 and LEGO introduces us to the thrilling Adventurers theme. Headlined by the dashing Australian explorer Johnny Thunder, also known as Sam Grant, and Joe Freeman, this theme took us through various sub-themes like Egypt, Jungle, Dino Island, and Orient Expedition. Fast forward to spring 2003 though, and the adventure sadly came to an end. A notable legacy of this theme is the exhilarating ride in Legoland California and Legoland Florida 2, where riders got to wield laser pointer guns to fend off enemies. A pretty short-lived theme, it only ran about 6 years. Agents. In summer of 2008, LEGO gave us the high-octane Agents theme, featuring an elite team of secret agents battling the notorious Dr. Inferno and his international crime syndicate. The action continued into 2009 with Agents 2.0. Each set was not just a build, it also came with a short comic strip providing background to the set's action. One standout was Mission 5 Turbo Car Chase, which even included a credit card-sized identity card for added spy vibes. But sadly, this theme is now part of LEGO history and it has been discontinued but not forgotten. Alpha Team. In 2001, LEGO brought the video game LEGO Alpha Team to life with the Alpha Team theme, centered around a group of secret agents, once again, thwarting the villainous Ogle world's domination plans, Alpha Team was an absolute hit. The initial run lasted from 2001 to 2002, so only about a year, and it closely tied to the original video game. After a brief hiatus in 2003, the theme made a comeback from 2004 to 2005, so again, another year, sporting a refreshed cast of characters, a new logo, and a focus on transforming vehicles. While Alpha Team had its moment in the LEGO spotlight, it eventually retired, and it's weird. It only ran for 1 year, then disappeared, then ran for a year, and now it's gone for good. But I mean, I've never had one of these sets. LEGO Alien Conquest. Ever since 1979, the LEGO Group and space themes have been an inseparable duo, much like peanut butter and jelly. Bad joke. While previous LEGO classic space themes were often focused on intergalactic factions or planetary exploration, the LEGO Alien Conquest theme brought the extraterrestrial excitement a little closer to home. Imagine little green men invading Earth, not for resources or conquest, but to snatch humanity's brain power. That's the whole idea behind LEGO Alien Conquest, and it's a theme that took inspiration from America's 1950s sci-fi cinema aesthetic. The character and vehicle designs were straight out of pop and pulp culture. Saucer-shaped ships, menacing three-legged war machines, and bug-eyed Martians with exposed brains. It was definitely a nostalgic nod to the drive-in movie era. On the flip side of the extraterrestrial coin, however, LEGO introduced the Alien Defense Unit, or ADU, a team of heroic astronauts serving as Earth's last line of defense. These brave ADU troopers took the fight to the cosmic invaders, with sets allowing them to blatantly battle in the air and on land. The LEGO Alien Conquest theme only came out with 7 sets total, all released in a single wave during May of 2011, with a couple of polybags hitting shelves later that year. A highlight was the Alien Conquest Battle Pack in June, featuring 2 aliens, a pair of ADU troopers, and 1 civilian. Unfortunately, the joyride with LEGO Alien Conquest was a short one, leaving fans like me wondering why the plug was pulled so soon. So yeah, it sucks it got canceled. It was one of my first themes that I ever owned, and yeah, we're just gonna move on. LEGO Pharaohs Quest. This is where we really stepped into the world of ancient tombs, buried treasure, cursed mummies, and desert escape pads with LEGO Pharaohs Quest, a theme that taps into the swashbuckling spirit in all of us. This LEGO theme doesn't just offer dynamic builds, it's also a treasure trove of memorable minifigures and thrilling play experience straight from the scenes of a Hollywood action adventure blockbuster. Coming out in January of 2011, LEGO Pharaohs Quest marked a departure from the usual non-licensed theme by the LEGO Group. The storyline follows archaeologist Professor, I'm not even gonna try to say that name, along with explorers Jake Rains and Helena Scavelings, and the grease monkey mechanic demolitions expert Mac McLeod. Together, they embark on a quest to uncover Pharaoh Bro, what are these names? 6 mysterious treasures. This theme has it all too. Booby-trapped tombs, flying mummies, giant scarab beetles, slithering snakes, stinging scorpions, supernatural statues, and a steadfast sphinx. The sets from LEGO Pharaohs Quest not only brought these elements to life, but also delivered on innovative play features and captivating buildable environments. But it wasn't just about exploring ancient mysteries. The LEGO Pharaohs Quest sets included a funky variety of vehicles for our heroes to navigate on, from scooped up hot rods and rugged desert trucks to awesome armored ATVs and a slick biplane with a nifty grab function for those hard to reach treasures. The creativity knew no bounds, and there were so many different options. So what exactly happened to this adventure pack theme, and why did we only get 1 wave of 6 sets, 2 polybags, and a 3 minifigure battle pack before it vanished into the sands of time? Well, unfortunately, I don't know. LEGO Atlantis. The lost civilization of Atlantis, a tale that has intrigued scholars, sparked debates, and fired up the imaginations of curious minds since Plato first spun the yarn. Is it a myth? Is it a reality? Is it just all some fictional story? Is it real? Is it not? Everyone wants to know. But anyways, in January of 2010, the LEGO Group decided to now join the exploration party by launching its first wave of a thrilling theme dedicated to the legendary Atlantis. Picture futuristic underwater vehicles like the Deep Sea Raider and Neptune Carrier on a mission to scour the seafloor for the buried city and its treasures. Enter Atlantis Exploration Headquarters, a playset with all the bells and whistles, nominated for the Toy Award 2010 at the 60th International Toy Fair Nuremberg in the category of Games Plus Action. Unlike other LEGO underwater exploration themes, Atlantis went beyond shipwrecks and treasure chests. It gave us ancient ruins with pillared Parthenon-esque structures reminiscent of mid-5th century BCE Greek architecture. The LEGO Atlantis theme also introduced a rich underwater kingdom populated by original sea creature or characters, each with their own unique designs like the Barracuda Guardian, Hammerhead Warrior, Manta Warrior, Lobster Guardian, Shark Warrior, and Squid Warrior. And despite running for only 3 waves and offering a total of 20 sets, 4 polybags, and a pair of activity books with collectible LEGO minifigures, LEGO Atlantis had a relatively short production life of about a year. The reasons behind its brief run still remain a mystery, though speculation suggests that its connection to history and mythology may have left some young LEGO enthusiasts scratching their heads. While the Atlantis theme may have been a bit ahead of its time, many fans, and even myself included, wish we could have seen more of its zany potential. I just wanted to see more siege creatures, further exploration of its captivating mythology, and even more crossovers with other LEGO themes. LEGO Dino. Before 2012's Dino theme, the LEGO group had already dipped its toes into the Jurassic waters with ventures like the year 2000's Adventurers sub-theme, Dino Island, showcasing molded dinosaurs like the T-Rex and Stegosaurus. The LEGO Studios theme in 2001 and the standalone Dinosaurs theme also brought dinosaurs to the forefront. However, it was with the 2012 Dino theme that LEGO truly reached its prehistoric pinnacle. Imagine highly detailed, fabulously articulated dinosaur models including the Raptor, Colophysis, Triceratops, Pteranodon, and an imposing Tyrannosaurus Rex. The T-Rex alone was a behemoth compared to its predecessors, setting the stage for a dynamite LEGO adventure. The sets themselves were also a visual feast, featuring vehicles like trucks, hydroplanes, helicopters, and jeeps, complemented by magnificent playsets too. Pteranodon Tower, with its 136 pieces, offered a tranquilizer gun, an original printed computer screen tile, and even a sleek jet boat. However, the highlight was the Dino Defense Headquarters, an absolute showstopper boasting 4 minifigures, 3 dinosaurs, a helicopter, a car, a headquarters with a laboratory, tranquilizer refilling station, and a communications center. It was a testament to the fact that a great LEGO theme doesn't always need a license to shine. Yet despite the brilliance of the LEGO Dino theme, it vanished without a trace. And why? Well, that still remains a mystery, but the speculation with this one points to the impending release of Colin Trevorrow's Jurassic World, which was still a few years away. Perhaps 2012's LEGO Dino theme just served as an audition tape, a prototype showcasing LEGO's prowess in courting Universal and proving what they could achieve with the franchise. And while many LEGO fans do appreciate evergreen and original themes over licensed ones, there's always a certain charm to a theme that exists without the constraints of intellectual property. The Dino theme, with its endless possibilities, could have been a long-lasting favorite, but it got cancelled. LEGO Monster Fighters. With this one, you had vampires, werewolves, ghouls, ghosts, and gillmen, the whole creepy creature crew straight from the best monster movies, and they were all there. Sure, the LEGO Studios theme took a dip into the eerie waters back in 2002, but it wasn't until May of 2012 that the LEGO group fully embraced the classic horror vibe with their spooktacular Monster Fighters theme. At the heart of the Monster Fighters story was a menacing Lord Vampire, a bloodsucker on a quest to snatch up all the mighty Moonstones and harness their magical powers. Alongside him were creepy sidekicks like the Swamp Creature, Mummy, Crazy Scientist with his monster, and a bunch of other familiar faces from the spooky genre. Basically, the LEGO Monster Fighters theme whisked fans into a fantastic and original world, blending freshness with familiarity. The minifigures sported new prints and molds, and the sets boasted unique play features and atmospheric settings, and the vehicles were a blast with heaps of variety across the entire theme. But now the burning question: why did this get the axe the same year it came out? Like, it didn't even last a year. Maybe the LEGO group just thought they exhausted the classic movie monster roster with a single wave. Or maybe they were just worried that the Monster Fighters theme tiptoed a bit too close to the edge of acceptability for a children's toy. Whatever the real reason was, it was definitely the wrong one, because Monster Fighters deserved a longer run, but unfortunately, it didn't get that. The Billion Brick Race. The LEGO franchise has had quite a run on the big screen, kicking off with a bang, but one intriguing project that never saw the light of day was the Billion Brick Race, a film in development by the LEGO Group and Warner Brothers. Unfortunately, not much is actually known about this one movie. Initially, it was set to be the third spin-off from the original LEGO movie. The franchise's first installment proved that there was a keen audience for such movies. It's still hailed as one of the best animated movies in recent years, and actually the success of the LEGO movie gave rise to the LEGO iteration of Batman, leading to the creation of the spin-off, the LEGO Batman movie, where many memes, including this one, came out of it. The franchise then eventually ventured into the original properties like Ninjago, but the Billion Brick Race, however, was meant to be a standalone spin-off, steering clear of characters from other movies. It was kind of a weird thing. True to its name, the film aimed to be a racing picture, drawing inspiration from classic films in the genre. Writer Drew Pearce even dropped a hint mentioning Cannonball Run as one of the influence for the creative team. A racing-themed movie with LEGO characters would undoubtedly attract big-name stars and provide a perfect canvas for the writers to weave in their memorable meta jokes, a comedic style that worked wonders in the previous LEGO films. But unlike other spin-offs in the LEGO universe, the Billion Brick Race would have introduced an all-new property to the LEGO brand. While Batman was a character character Warner Brothers already owned, and Ninjago an original LEGO creation, this racing flick promised fresh, uncharted territory, and it's kind of a big risk to take. Despite the filmmakers' passion for the project and the interest it generated into the LEGO community, Warner Brothers eventually had to pull the plug, leaving us to wonder about the untold bricks and speed adventures that might have been. And I'm actually wondering, leave a comment if you would have wanted to watch this. Me personally, I don't really know. Ben 10 Alien Force. This was a LEGO theme that made a brief appearance on the scene in 2010, only to bid us a farewell in the same year that it came out. Now, this theme was a nod to the cartoon series of the same name that kept us all entertained on Cartoon Network, but the kicker with this is that it didn't quite hit the LEGO jackpot. In fact, it waved goodbye after a mere 6 months in some countries. I mean, talk about blink of an eye. I mean, that's what that means. It is worth noting that it falls under the Technic sub-theme umbrella too. It was a small lineup of 6 sets, each a snazzy action figure version of one of Ben's alien forms. These figures are all made up of a modest 14 to 22 pieces, so think Bionicle figures but with a touch of simplicity and specific parts. What's cool is that this theme brought in a revamped ball and socket joint, a smart move to replace the older, more break-prone version. And let's not forget the glow-in-the-dark eyes and the Omnitrix on their chest. Talk about a stylish touch. Bionicle. Everybody knows Bionicle. Let's now take a stroll down memory lane to the realm of Bionicle. Everybody knows this. It's LEGO's construction theme. I don't gotta explain it too much, but imagine sets that are like the Michelangelos of LEGO, using modified Technic pieces and nifty ball and socket joints to craft these larger-than-life intricate figures. I remember even buying these in the little capsule things, bro. I had a couple of these growing up. Now, Bionicle wasn't just about the bricks, because it also had its own comic book saga running alongside the original set releases. But hold on to your LEGO hats, because when Bionicle took a bow, those comics transformed into graphic novel volumes. And for those novel enthusiasts, fear not, because there were actual novels released too. This theme bursted onto the scene in 2001, rocking the LEGO world until its original hiatus in 2010. And what a run it had. I mean, gaining a cult-like status in the early 2000s. I was one of them. But wait, there's more! Because in 2014, brace yourself, Bionicle made a grand return, bringing new sets and all. Alas though, the encore lasted until 2016 before it took its final bow once again, never to return again. Unfortunate. Such a classic, it's sad that it got canceled. The Black Falcons. These iconic sets made their debut in 1984 and continued their medieval adventures until 1992. Now, if you happen to be in Canada or Australia, you might know them by a different name, the Eagle's Crests. Across the border in the US, a catalog from 1989 dropped the names like Forestmen, Black Knights, and Guardians of the Grey Castles. Interestingly, this hinted at a tale where the Black Falcon, much like the Black Monarch, was a character leading the charge for the Guardians. Fast forward to 2012 though, and a distinguished Black Falcon Knight makes a cameo in a Kingdom set, locking horns with the Lion Knights. It's like a medieval soap opera with knights and castles, right? And guess what? In 2021, the Black Falcons made a triumphant return in LEGO Ideas 21325 Medieval Blacksmith, proving that some classics are just timeless. But of course, it did get canceled. Let's transition to the Black Knights. No, I'm not talking about the Fortnite skin. Now, it would be in LEGO's castle theme, where the Black Knights took their place in 1988. They had 13 epic sets, 2 grand castles, and they were kind of a big deal in the LEGO castle universe during their run. Now, what made them stand out, you might ask? It was the sleek black color of their fortifications that set the Black Knights apart from their medieval counterparts. Imagine towering castles all decked out in mysterious black. Pretty cool, right? Oh, and they even had a symbol too, a blue wyvern dragon proudly gracing their shields and banners. Now, here's the twist. The Dragon Masters use a similar motif, just with a different color palette. And as time rolled on, the Black Knights took a bit of a backseat after 1994, but their legacy still lingered. The crest still made surprise appearances up until 1996, adding a touch of medieval flair to the LEGO landscape. But if you're not super old, you're not gonna know about this, because it is a really old set and it did get canceled pretty early on for itself. Cars. Back in 2010, Disney gave a nod to the Little Builders with a Cars theme in Duplo form. Yep, we're talking about those chunky bricks for the younger gearheads. Then in 2011, they shifted gears and brought Cars into the system world. That's the more intricate LEGO realm that we all know and love. But here's the plot twist with this one, because by 2012, the theme took an early pit stop and went off the shelves. Despite that though, Lightning McQueen and the gang made a roaring comeback in 2017, all thanks to the brand new Cars 3 movie. The theme got a fresh start under the junior sub-theme, and now the newer sets might be a tad less complex than their 2011 counterparts, but they still pack that Cars charm. Anyways, I don't even know why LEGO would cancel Cars to begin with. City Center. Taking a stroll down LEGO memory lane once again to the bustling urban landscapes of City Center. Imagine it as a cool successor to Town Junior, inheriting that simple simplified building vibe. Fun fact about this one, across the pond in Europe, it just went by the name City. No fancy center attached. But it would be in 1999 that the city center was born. It brought its brick-filled charm, but alas, it waved goodbye to the shelves in 2000, so only a year again. But hold on tight though, because the next city-themed adventure, World City, hit the scene 3 years fashionably late in 2003. And some sets from the city center even made a comeback like the blocky stars of the brick show they are. Slick Kits. Interesting name, but this was LEGO's fourth major theme crafted with creativity for just the girls. Before it, we had the likes of Scala, Paradisia, and Belleville setting the stage. Now, Clickix took the LEGO scene by storm from 2003 to 2006, and the fun didn't completely fizzle out until 2008 in certain spots. Well, what made Click Kits click? Well, it put the spotlight on crafting bracelets and necklaces, so talk about accessorying in true LEGO style. Click Kits wasn't just about jewelry though, because it also embraced the beauty realm too. Think hairstyling tools, and then take it up a notch with the room decor sets featuring everything from cozy pillows to artsy frames. So either it didn't sell enough, some other reason, or girls didn't like it, I don't know, but this one did also get canceled pretty early on. The Crusaders, marking the glorious return of the castle theme. These brave knights in shining bricks made their debut alongside the Black Falcons, reigniting the castle building fever after the original Knights curtain call in 1978. Though in the realms of Canada and Australia, our Crusaders and the Black Falcons donned the titles of Lion Crest and Eagle Crest factions, respectively. It's like they had their own secret identities in other parts of the world. But fast forward to 1991 and 1992, and the Lion Crest Knights decided to roll with the Crusaders name for good, and then also canceled. Dark Forest. It would be in 1996 this time when this castle sub-theme finally emerged, and it really brought something different to the table this time. And while Dark Forest didn't really grace the pages of European catalogs, it did make its way to certain shops across the continent. It's certainly an interesting distribution strategy, and maybe one that actually led to its downfall. Think of Dark Forest as the Forestman's long-lost sibling, making a comeback after the Forestman theme took its bow in 1990. They even shared the same distinguished crest established back in 1987, creating a nostalgic link between the past and also the present. What made Dark Forest truly stand out though were its sets featuring woodland hideouts cleverly crafted into hollow trees and rocks. It was like a secret society of LEGO nature dwellers. Some Dark Forest minifigures sported familiar green tunics and Forestman hats reminiscent of their Forestman counterparts. Yet the minifigures brought a fresh twist, donning different torso pieces and hoods, adding a dash of variety to the enchanted forest. But alas, the Dark Forest vanished into the LEGO archives after 1996, leaving behind only 3 sets. Orient Expedition. What really set Orient Expedition apart from the LEGO pack though was its unique twist. Each set boasting over 100 pieces came with stat cards or even a puzzle piece for a game board. Now, this wasn't just any game either. It was the Orient Expedition board game, adding an extra layer of excitement to the LEGO escape ad. The Orient Expedition was also the grand finale of the Adventurers sub-themes, marking an end of an era. You could join Johnny Thunder, the brainy Dr. Kilroy, and the adventurous Pippin Reed as they teamed up with new friends from Asia. And together, this group embarked on a quest across the continent, hot on the trail of the elusive golden dragon of Marco Polo and his 3 other treasures. So what's the catch? Well, the mischievous Lord Sam Sinister and his partners in crime were in hot pursuit, aiming to beat our heroes to the prize. It was a race against time, weaving a tale of mystery, intrigue, and LEGO magic into the vast landscapes of Asia. But if you thought that sounded pretty boring, maybe that's why it got canceled. Nexon Knights. Nexon Knights was a thrilling castle theme that LEGO really enjoyed, even if it only ran from 2016 to 2018. The story around it was that there was a land where 5 young knights stood as the last line of defense against the nefarious Jestro, Monstrux, and their menacing monster army. The adventure officially kicked off on January 2nd, 2016, although eagle-eyed fans might have caught a glimpse of some sets in select stores as early as late December 2015. Taking a page from the Ultra Agents playbook, Nexon Knights introduced also an app, sadly now discontinued also, that allowed users to interact with the digital realm using their physical LEGO pieces. It was innovation meeting imagination in the LEGO universe. But just like other LEGO hits such as Ninjago and LEGOs of Chima, Nexon Knights leaped beyond the brick and mortar with its own TV series, of course named Nexon Knights the Animated Series. The animated saga premiered on Cartoon Network on January 11, 2016, followed by a second season on August 13th of the same year. But the adventure didn't stop there. 2017 brought the fans a 3rd and 4th season, adding layers to the epic tale, so I guess it was a pretty big hit. But unfortunately, as 2018 dawned, a 5th wave of sets was released, promising more thrills and spills for all the Nexon Knights fans. And as 2018 dawned, a 5th wave of sets was actually released, promising more thrills and spills for Nexon Knights fans. But nothing good always lasts, and despite the plans for a 5th season, the LEGO world was met with a twist of fate, because the series got an axe in 2018, leaving fans with only 4 seasons forever of brick-filled brilliance to cherish. Regardless though, it seemed like it did perform very well, and I do wonder why they canceled it. Everybody knows this one, Dora. In 2004, LEGO decided to join the Dora party and introduce the Dora the Explorer Explore sets, LEGO bricks bringing to life the vibrant world of Dora, Boots, and their friends. However, much like a fleeting expedition, the theme was short-lived and bid a farewell by the end of the same year. LEGO Quattro. Now, we're gonna take a trip down memory lane once again to the early 2000s when LEGO Quattro made its debut in the preschool scene, specifically in 2004. The scene was like the cool older sibling of Duplo, designed with the tiny tots in mind, those adventurous little builders ages 1 to 3. Now, what's so special about Quattro, you might ask? Well, the name itself spills the bricks. Terrible joke, I'm so sorry. These blocks were crafted to be double the size of your trusty Duplo bricks and a whopping quadruple the dimensions of regular LEGO system blocks. So imagine the possibilities, building towers that even toddlers could conquer. And by the way, I did build towers. I had these growing up. I vividly remember I built towers and castles, and it was a lot of fun. But wait, because there is more. These Quattro's wonders are not just big, because they're also baby friendly, perfect for those teething moments, and these bricks were also created to withstand the chewy exploration of, the small builders that like LEGO. They stand proud as the largest scale elements ever conjured up by the LEGO wizards. The iconic Quattro logo featured an elephant and a nod to the good old Primo days. The iconic Quattro logo featured an elephant, a nod to the good old Primo days, but now a snazzy new color. Quattro initially strutted its stuff under the LEGO Explore banner and later also got its own snazzy packaging. Guess what? It also got canceled. Robo Force. Diving into the intergalactic adventure of Robo Force, it's a nifty sub-theme of LEGO space that graced the scene in 1997. Now with this one, it wasn't your typical worldwide sensation because it strutted its robot stuff exclusively in the US catalogs of that year. Yeah, so it was only in the United States, nowhere else. Robo Force were the righteous heroes of the LEGO space saga, taking on the good guy mantle. This 4-set wonderland showcased some seriously cool large robots through an augmented reality app. Yes, really, the hidden side theme is not just about building sets, it's also about unraveling mysteries and capturing mischievous ghosts using the magic of AR. To join the ghost hunting fun, all you needed to do was just grab the app from the App Store or Google Play, whatever you use, and also probably have a set or two. Now here's the cool part though, because even though the sets were actually designed to sync with the app, they weren't your average run-of-the-mill AR gimmick set like everyone else tries to do. Each set boasted standard system set features, ensuring a blast of playability regardless of your AR adventures. And at the launch, the theme treated us to a spooktacular array of 8 sets, each offering a unique piece of the haunted puzzle. But like I always say, good things must come to an end, and Hidden Side actually ended off and got canceled at around the end of 2020. However, fans received a small consolation prize with an update to the Hidden Side app in March of 2021 for some reason, but it doesn't matter. It's gone. Futuron. Futuron was quite the intriguing sub-theme in the LEGO space saga that graced us with its presence from 1987 to 1990. Imagine a group of intrepid space explorers, the Futuron astronauts, navigating the celestial expanse in a quest for discovery. But hold on, it's not all smooth sailing, because these cosmic pioneers found themselves in a friendly competition with the astronauts from Blacktron, adding a dash of intergalactic rivalry to the mix. And what's fascinating is that the Futuron astronauts decided to pay homage to their classic space predecessors, donning a familiar color scheme and logo. It's like a cosmic reunion with a modern twist. And with a stellar lineup featuring more than 17 different sets, Futuron firmly established itself as one of the larger and more intriguing factions in the vast LEGO space universe. And finally, Speed Racer. Speed Racer was one of the most anticipated themes to hit the shelves back in 2008. It had sleek racing cars, adrenaline pumping speed, and the thrilling vibe of the film Speed Racer, which in turn took inspiration from the iconic anime by Tatsunoko Productions. But even with all of that, Speed Racer, despite its promise, was a bit of a pit stop in the LEGO lineup, zooming onto the scene in 2008 and making a swift exit the same year. And you're probably wondering, why that? Well, it turns out that the film didn't quite rev up the box office as expected. With the anatomically correct Lego Man. Lego minifigures, whether classic or tied to a certain brand, are usually friendly and smooth. They're almost like a kid's drawings, which are simple and colorful in colors and, all these things. But now, things have taken a strange turn. Because you know what isn't comforting? This custom Lego minifigure by YouTuber North of the Border. Known for crafting tiny nerdy things, they actually sculpted a clay version of a Lego minifigure detailed with face textures and realistic clothes, and wrinkles included too. And the end result is seriously unsettling. I mean, check out this nightmare-inducing amazing Lego creation above, shared by Geeks Are Sexy. It does not end there. I mean, the toes, the fingernails, I mean, it's just way too detailed. And it's hard to pinpoint why this textured, lifelike Lego figure is so eerie in the first place. Or maybe it's because he just has so many dang wrinkles. Who actually knows? But the point is, if you saw this in your room at night, I wouldn't be able to sleep. It's almost like an ET looking Lego figure. I mean, I don't want that. But what about Lego Yoda? Oh my god, Yoda, my man, what did they do to you? Now look, I'm all for creative Lego interpretations, but let's be real for a second. Not every character is meant to go, you know, become a brick figure. And Yoda's minifigures are undeniably imaginative, but it comes to a point where someone should have just said, wait a second, this looks seriously odd. And that necklace, I mean, seriously, it's like he's sporting binocular bling. Look, don't get me wrong, building characters out of bricks is usually a blast, but in this case, the Force isn't just with it. See the joke I did there? Yeah, not even close, and this is the weirdest Yoda of them all. Lego Gladiator. Imagine Lego trying to muscle in on Barbie's turf. Well, that would be Gladiator. And oh boy, is it a spectacular fail of the cosmic proportions. I mean, this Lego Gladiator represents that awkward phase where Legos seem to have a midlife crisis, where they were just splurging a bunch of things out and, you know, just testing what works. I mean, seriously, did they even know themselves what they were doing during this era? It's like they were trying to be someone that they were just not. And let me tell you, it's not a great look. I mean, do you want this Lego Gladiator, even if it was for free? Let's be honest, probably not. But what about the Lego Stormtrooper? Whoever actually dreamed up this Lego Stormtrooper variant should consider a sandwich or two, because what is going on? And while we're at it, a helmet that's proportionate to the rest of the body might help. I mean, really, how did this idea even make it past the brainstorming stage, bro? Look at this thing. If they didn't label it, would you even have a clue as to what series this belongs to? Because my bet is a solid no. I mean, this right here is a prime example of what not to do with a beloved character. I mean, bro, this does not even look like a Stormtrooper. Lego Luke Skywalker. Whoa. Before you scroll past this Luke Skywalker gig, take a quick gander. Because, yep, that colossal figure is no ordinary Lego minifig. It's a full-blown plastic piece. Now, look, I'm all for creativity, but blowing up minifigs like this? I mean, this is like inflating a balloon way too much. Minifigs are those small print-sized heroes that we all know and love, right? But this giant version, it's a tad bit off. I mean, who wants to say, yeah, bro, I own a big, like, 8-foot-tall minifigure? Like, bro, what? No, we want the small thing. Lego Squidward. I mean, Squidward's got these unique features that don't exactly scream, well, easy to translate to brick form. But here's the kicker. They made him smile. Yep, you heard that right. The king of grumpiness is grinning. I mean, seeing Squidward crack a smile is like spotting a unicorn riding a rainbow, or just spotting a unicorn at all. So how did Lego manage to get this beloved character's expression so wrong? Nesquik Lego. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing Nesquik. I mean, that chocolatey delight has its own charm. We all love it, despite it being a bit budget friendly. I mean, come on, we all love Nesquik. But when these two giants joined forces, let's just say that the outcome left me questioning reality a bit. Well, the result was nothing short of a monstrosity that I wish I could absolutely unsee. I mean, seriously, this collaboration birthed what could easily be the weirdest and the creepiest Lego minifigure ever. Sorry, future kids, but you won't catch me handing this one over to you for playtime. I mean, this thing failed miserably. Look at this thing, bro. This thing is just weird. I think everyone knows this one, but it's the Lego Creator Kangaroo. Hold on to your bricks real quick, because here comes the Lego Creator Kangaroo, a monthly mini build that might just leave you scratching your head once again. Seriously, I mean, this triangular creature with a bird-like beak barely resembles a kangaroo at all. And that baby in the pouch, like, what the hell? All right, but we all know this one. It's the Lego Statue of Liberty. Let's talk about challenges. The ultimate challenge for Lego enthusiasts, the Lego Statue of Liberty 3450. Completing it is like ascending a Lego Mount Everest almost. But here's a twist, because everything has a twist now. The finished statue looks more like it's melting than standing tall and proud. With a monochromatic hue and a lack of depth, it's almost like it's having a Lego meltdown. All right, back to Spider-Man, because this is Spider-Man mech versus Venom. I think it's clear that Lego's a fan of mechs, and superheroes piloting them is quite the spectacle. Even though it's a tad odd thinking of characters like Spider-Man or Wolverine maneuvering these giant mechanical giants, they're fun to build, let's not lie. But the quirkiest mechs might have to just be from the 761151 Spider-Mech versus Venom set. Take Spider-Man's mech, for example. It's like a hasty assembly of webbing and rubble. And Venom's, well, it's just a bigger version of the villain himself. But you can't lie, this thing is pretty cursed. But we're not done with superheroes just yet, because this next one is superheroes too. And that's Batman Killer Croc Sewer Smash set. Lego's had its fair share of hits and misses, but the one set that takes the cake for being super odd is the 760551 Batman Killer Croc Sewer Smash set from 2016. And boy, is this one creepy. It's like they took a handful of random elements and tossed them all together. On one end, Batman's driving a contraption that's part tank, part boat, and part who even knows? But it sure doesn't belong in a sewer, that's for sure. And then there's Killer Croc trying to drive a clunky set of crocodile jaws. Oh, and let's not forget the cherry picker tacked on for Captain Boomerang. Talk about a wobbly mismatch. So the saving grace, well, minifigures. I mean, they are pretty solid, but their randomness is a puzzle on its own. Link to the first Suicide Squad movie? Sure, but none of these figures are even close to the on-screen counterparts. It's a head-scratching set for sure, and it's like LEGO's designers were just given a crate of leftover parts and just made a Batman set out of it. Once again, Star Wars with LEGO Star Wars Porg. Star Wars has a knack for cute characters like Jar Jar Binks and Ewoks. Well, not everyone likes Jar Jar Binks, so we won't get into that. But then came along the Porgs in The Last Jedi. Yeah, these little like puffin like penguin things. But when it does come to the LEGO structures, these puffins prove a challenge. Well, cue the LEGO Star Wars Porg set, a whopping 811 pieces. Now, I get it. Star Wars and LEGO are a golden duo. Yet, when you see this set, you might find yourself scratching your head a bit. It's a bit jarring and, dare I say, ugly. LEGO's definitely leveraging its business licenses here, and even if it feels a bit forced, but it is kind of cursed. I mean, oh boy. Next, though, is Dr. Fox's magnifying machine. LEGO's Unikitty line is aimed at kids, no doubt, but enter the Dr. Fox's magnifying machine, a nifty concept at first glance. It's a microscope toy, kind of neat, right? But here's the catch, because obviously there is one. It's a bit pricey and not that easy to find. And hold up, there's more, because no minifigure is included. That's right, the best part about LEGOs is just not there. Instead, though, you get paper glasses that you're supposed to wear while building and a set of plastic tiles to examine through the makeshift microscope. I can see why this set didn't fly. Sounds kind of cool for sure, but until you realize they're just simple images. Plus, you're stuck with paper glasses. Bit of a head scratcher, right? LEGO Powerpuff Girls Bubbles Playground Showdown. Some sets just leave you wondering, and the LEGO Powerpuff Girls Bubbles Playground Showdown is a prime example of this. Now, some might be stoked for the Powerpuff Girls minifigures, but this one's a head scratcher once again. It's like LEGO again tried to capture a scene from the animated series, but it's oddly pre-assembled, which defeats the purpose of LEGO, doesn't it? From a perplexing choice of villains to just like an assortment of figures that seem randomly picked. I mean, this set is like a quirky snapshot of a show that might not have resonated with everyone. Brickhead's Princess Leia. LEGO's Brickhead's line is like a colorful experiment to rival Funko Pop's vinyl figures that we all know and love. Instead, just in LEGO format. These playful LEGO renditions of famous characters often charm, but sometimes miss the mark a little bit, and a case in point being the Brickhead's Princess Leia Organa set. In a world where the Funko Pop characters just are screaming cute appeal, LEGO's Brickheads twist things up into a bit more of a garish manner than intended. While innovation is admirable here, this quirky take might not resonate as strongly with the passionate Star Wars fans community. I mean, the attempt to merge the classic Leia with a bold visual twist might just leave some fans puzzled and intrigued in equal measure, like, to why this even happened in the first place. I don't know if too many people bought this because there's so many good Star Wars things to buy. Why would you want this? But what about the Puppy Playground 3150? Enter the time machine and say hello to the Puppy Playground set, a relic from LEGO's early endeavors into girl-focused sets with the Scala line. It's a prime exhibit showcasing why Scala didn't exactly stand in the test of time. And the tent and basket evoke a sense of delicacy like they're made of eggshells? And those miniature LEGO bushes, well, yeah, they don't exactly win the appeal contest either. However, the real twist comes when you realize it doesn't quite feel like LEGO. It's almost as if someone attempted to mimic LEGO using a different batch of bricks. And the result is a set that feels overly simplistic, lacks excitement, and is more likely to receive a thumbs down from the discerning eyes of LEGO enthusiasts. Unless you're a girl and you like bushes and tents and baskets and picnics. Maybe you'll like it then, but it is a little bit cursed though. LEGO Friends Buildable Hedgehog Storage, an idea that's quirky at its core yet oddly unsettling. While LEGO aimed to create a bridge to engage young girls, this particular creation might bridge the gap between quirky and slightly eerie too. And the finished product, you might be asking, well, it's like a strange blend of creepy and hedgehog-like, but not entirely. If someone didn't already know it's supposed to be a hedgehog, they might struggle to decipher the creature's identity in the first place. Although it is intended to serve as a storage solution, it might also serve as a just store unit for odd nightmares. I mean, no one is buying this thing, and it is very cursed. Look at this. Well, let's move on to something we all love, Easter chickens, right? So this is the Easter Chickens 1264. In the year 2000, LEGO introduced the Easter Chicken set, a creation that could very well induce nightmares in the minds of small children. One might even assume that spotting the resemblance to a chicken is part of the challenge this set presents. Designed as obviously a seasonal holiday offering, this set might have had a brief moment in the spotlight, but it's more likely to be found scattered in pieces rather than intact on a collector's shelf. I mean, crafting small sets can often be a delicate endeavor as the limited pieces leave little room for error, but unfortunately, this set seems to fall squarely into the miss category, and that's a very interesting looking chicken. But how interesting is the Palrak Kal? How do you even say this thing? Don't say I'm mispronouncing it, because I know you can't. The mysterious realm of Bionicle Lego introduces us to the Palrak Kal 8577, creature that just embodies the general perplexity of the entire Bionicle series. With various sets, each slightly differing in appearance, it's definitely a challenge to ascertain the intended identity of these creations. Perhaps futuristic beings or something akin, but the designers veer into unconventional territory with an abundance of limbs. And for those who prefer their Lego more traditionally structured, the complexity of these just might be off-putting, and this one is cursed for sure. So this is LEGO Harry Potter Rescue of the Mere People. Diving into the wizarding world of Harry Potter, LEGO has translated many iconic scenes into sets with varying degrees of success. But one particular oddity emerges with the LEGO Harry Potter Rescue of the Mere People set inspired by the Goblet of Fire film. Well, venturing into the realm of the weird and slightly eerie Mere People scene might leave fans scratching their heads. Despite the film's enchanting narrative, the set itself may appear mundane, offering minimal components beyond a few minifigures and the colossal squid piece. And this peculiar choice in subject matter might not be the most magical of the LEGO Harry Potter adaptations, and this thing right here, I mean, some of these things just look weird too, like, just like, look at this thing, dude, like, what is going on? Next on the list, though, is the Guarded Inn 10,000. The set mirrors a scenario where one sibling constructs a majestic castle while the other crafts a charming inn. And the endgame, well, an amalgamation that doesn't quite fit into either category. It's definitely an unsettling mismatch, and the set's identity crisis leaves it in a realm that's neither a castle nor an inn or a hotel. Like, what is even going on here? And re-release as part of the Legend series, this peculiar blend seems to perplex more than it even pleases. But I heard what you said. We want to go back to Star Wars. Okay, we'll take a quick break because this is LEGO Star Wars Jabba the Hutt's Palace. Attempting to capture the essence of the first act of Return of the Jedi, this set inadvertently stirred controversy just because of certain religious groups, so we're not going to get into that. Beyond the controversy, the set's potential appeal might be limited with just a giant Jabba the Hutt Lego minifigure as its centerpiece. I mean, if you can even call this a minifigure. But the question remains, how many enthusiasts are actually seeking a giant Lego rendition of this iconic yet offbeat character? And this thing does look cursed. You cannot lie about that. The Skating Princess 7580. Let's jump to a different year, and this one is 2007, and we do encounter the Skating Princess 7580 set from the Belleville Fairy Tales line. However, though, this particular creation seems to emerge from a fairy tale gone all wrong. The unsettling stare of the princess figure alone could send shivers down one's spine, I mean mine included, while the tutu-clad rabbit doesn't offer much solace either, presenting an odd blend of elements too, from an ill-proportioned castle to an oddly sized sledge. I mean, this set just doesn't walk the line between quirky and bizarre. It performs an erratic dance on it, and the result, well, a fairy tale that might be best left unread. The Monty Python and the Holy Grail set. In a realm where imagination knows no bounds, we encounter the LEGO Monty Python and the Holy Grail set, a creation so surreal it feels like it belongs in a parallel dimension. It's worth clarifying though that this isn't an official LEGO set, but rather an elaborate fan creation by Ree Rofi, shared on Flickr. I hope I said his name right. Well, anyways, channeling the hilarity of the 1975 comedy film, this set introduces us to the LEGO reeditions of the iconic Monty Python elements, and the Holy Hand Grenade, the Knights Who Stand Knee, and more. And a lot of you will probably not even know what that means. I don't know what that means, but you cannot lie to me. This thing's cursed. While not officially endorsed by LEGO though, it is a testament to the power of fan creativity and the enduring appeal of Monty Python's irrelevant humor. And it's cursed. You can't forget, I mean, that's the whole thing. This is just cursed. Director's Copter 1360. In the early 2000s, LEGO Studios line delved into the magic of movie making, offering intricate sets that paid homage to beloved films. Yet, the Director's Copter 1360 seems like a mishap in this otherwise creative endeavor. The director's supposed airborne vehicle doesn't exactly resemble a helicopter, and instead, it just looks like an Inspector Gadget's propeller hat that dedicated to embark on an unexpected adventure with a camera. It's really weird looking. MB-01 Eagle Command Base Set. LEGO's Mars Mission series ventured into the sci-fi realm of interplanetary exploration, introducing sets that often let us scratching our heads. Among them, though, was the MB-01 Eagle Command Base, and it stands out more for its puzzling design. The set seems to incorporate a rocket ship and an intricate system of tubes and air pumps. Life on Mars appears to have become unexpectedly complex in the LEGO's interpretation, resulting in a set that's more perplexing than inspiring. And while the Mars Mission line embraced imaginative concepts, its eccentric designs might have alienated some of the LEGO enthusiasts out there, leaving them pondering the mysteries of this Martian question, mishap. What is going on here? Come on. For a Mars set, you could have done better. The Blizzard Blaster set. Enter the year of 2005, and with it, the Blizzard Blaster 4770 set. A peculiar addition to the Alpha Team sets that comes with a rather hefty price tag of $30. That's right, $30 whole for this thing. And a closer inspection leaves one grappling to comprehend the justification for the costs at all. It resembles a feeble imitation of an AT-AT coupled with a minuscule accompanying vehicle. And scrutinizing the description yields little insight into how this set integrates into any coherent theme at all. Kinda just in a world of its own. The perplexity also just intensifies as we question why anyone would willingly part with $30 for this assemble. Like who would actually pay $30 for this thing? This is not worth $30. The stingingness in the minifigure count, a mere 2, compounds an underwhelming sentiment as well. Perhaps it's for the best that the Alpha Team's creative well ran dry after this venture, as it seems as they have just exhausted all of their imaginative reserves. I mean, we've talked about many Star Wars things on this list, but let's just move on to the next thing, which is horse jumping. Now, for this year, it's the year 2008, and they unveiled the Belleville horse jumping set, raising questions about its rationale. The somewhat vacant-looking horse is paired with an intricate hurdle that defies comprehension, while a disproportionately small ceremony platform adds to just the mystery of it. And the set scale remains an enigma, with each component appearing to follow a different design logic. It's just really weird all across the board with this one. I mean, how can you mess up a horse? But back to the superheroes we all know and love, because this is once again Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin 4852. Branded LEGO sets generally offer a level of excitement, yet the Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin set disappointingly bucks the trend. Priced at a whopping $50, it aspires to capture the cinematic battle between Spider-Man and Green Goblin, but it lands in the realm of mediocrity. I mean, come on, you could make this thing a lot more hype. The seemingly simplistic and uninspired presentation, coupled with a tacky looking bridge and a lackluster web, failed to ignite the anticipated engagement that you would have with a cool Spider-Man set. And while the cable car's movements adds a touch of intrigue, it falls short of just justifying the price tag. The market holds more compelling options within the same price range, so why would you even go for this one? Honestly, it's just kind of like a weird set overall. Like, come on. Lego Time Cruiser. LEGO's Time Cruiser series flaunts as an assortment of sci-fi contraptions that could each qualify for this list. A peculiar fusion of vehicular components, it aspires to be a time machine, but it finds itself in the shadow of Doc Brown's iconic DeLorean. With an appearance reminiscent of something the Joker from Batman might make, this design would undoubtedly baffle newcomers into the LEGO universe. And the role of the propeller and its temporal escapids, I mean, it remains an enigma for sure. And as time machines continue to be regulated into the realm of imagination, this contraption definitely exerts its exclusion from any hypothetical reality. And come on, would you actually think this thing's a time machine? Because I mean, I wouldn't. Kind of cursed looking. Now for the final two, with the second to last being Lego Mario. Yup, when it comes to wholesomeness, Lego and Super Mario might have it in the spades. Merging these two beloved entities should theoretically be a seamless endeavor, right? I mean, just the synergy between the two just screams excitement. Yet the outcome raises eyebrows and triggers confusion. What exactly is this amalgamation? What is this thing? Why does it look like this? Look, growing up, I had these little knockoff Lego minifigures that were Mario, and I absolutely loved them. And I was super excited not too long ago when they did announce the Lego Mario line, like it was actually happening. But then they hit me with this blocky thing. This is not a Lego minifigure Mario. Come on, really? What is this thing? And it has like a screen? Like, this thing is cursed. And the result, presented as a Lego Mario, doesn't quite live up to the expectation. Mario's iconic charm seems to have been lost in the translation, just like I said, and the square-headed look, the mustache's uncanny buck-tooth illusion, and the unsettling gaze, and the anatomically questionable lower half, and I mean, it all just contributes to a nightmarish distortion. And this interpretation transforms Mario into a plastic gremlin, glaring menacingly at me as if it's just plotting some sinister schemes. Like, come on, bro, this is not Mario, this is Lucario. Wow, that was a bad joke. The once beloved character now just radiates just like this weird feeling, casting aside its heroic demeanor for a more sinister agenda. It's almost as if LEGO decided to create a villainous twin, a doppelganger fueled by its malicious intent, and just like make the weirdest Mario possible they could have. But finally, the last one on the list, and what you actually saw in the thumbnail, is the Gia Lee Bo Mr. Bean. Look, Mr. Bean, a character universally cherished, is held in high regard. That is, until the nightmarish specter of LEGO Mr. Bean emerges from the depths of social media. These figurines right here, crafted by Chinese company Gia Lee Bo, ignite a sense of terror upon viewing it. I mean, the oversized lustrous helmet hair and the heavily lidded eyes concealing sinister intentions, I mean, and the unsettling mix of cruel amusement and pleasure pain expressions, I mean, it all just looks so weird, bro. It's like the most cursed minifigure ever. Not to be ignored, though, is the appearance of Mr. Bean's bear companion, like Teddy. Teddy's now just sporting a disconcerting shade of nuclear yellow. What is going on? Two different concepts, one in nightwear and the other in Mr. Bean's iconic suit, and they both are a part of the collection that leaves many baffled. Despite the absence of official LEGO Mr. Bean merchandise in the Western market, these unsettling creations, yes, they have emerged as a product of its popularity. However, the result leaves us questioning whether this was an endeavor best left unexplored, and this should not have been made in the first place. I mean, how many people can say they own a Chinese Mr. Bean LEGO minifigure? I mean, it's just crazy. This thing is absolutely cursed. The Breaking Bad Citizen Brick set. Remember the critically acclaimed TV series Breaking Bad? Well, who doesn't? I mean, everybody knows this TV show. Well, brace yourself, because an independent company called Citizen Brick decided to encapsulate the essence of the show in LEGO form. This audacious set, dubbed Breaking Bad, stirred up quite a commotion when it hit the online market with a price tag of $250. However, here's the twist. LEGO distanced itself from the creation. Although every piece in this set was made from LEGO bricks, the company had no hand in its conception or endorsement, and they made sure of that. And that's why you can consider this set to be banned. LEGO Rifle. In the modern era today, where concerns about safety and security do run high, even the most harmless items can sometimes trigger disproportionate reactions. So consider the case of a 6-year-old student in Massachusetts whose choice of a toy sparked an unexpected chain of events during his morning school bus ride. As innocent as it might seem, the young boy decided to share his quarter-sized LEGO minifigure rifle with his fellow students. And the result? Well, panic. The sight of the toy rifle caused a flurry of distress among the other children, prompting the bus driver to take swift action by slamming on the brakes. And while legal consequences weren't in the cards for the boy, he did face detention and a mandatory written apology to both the driver and his fellow passengers. And think about it, it's all because of a LEGO gun looking a little too realistic. The boy's mother believed that the school's response was an overreaction, asserting that the LEGO toy posed no actual threat, while on the other hand, the bus driver painted a different picture describing a bus full of shocked children and an unexpected disruption to the morning routine. So, the lesson learned? Don't make LEGO guns too realistic. But let's move on to the Mr. White terrorist minifigure. Sometimes the interpretation of a seemingly harmless object can lead to unexpected and heated debates. Case in point, the creation of a custom LEGO minifigure named Mr. White by a company called Brick Arms. This figure, dressed in a tan militant shirt and black pants, including a pistol, an assault rifle, and an RPG, and even several grenades. However, it is the white head wrap that drew significant attention and controversy. The Ramadan Foundation, a Muslim organization, took an issue with the minifigure's appearance, stating that it bore a disturbing resemblance to an Islamic terrorist. This interpretation then went on to also trigger accusations of glorifying terrorism. So, in contrast, the founder of Brick Arms, Will Chapman, defended the figure as a generic bandit character devoid of specific attributes or affiliations. But I mean, if you saw this minifigure, what would you think? The Simpsons set. You've probably heard of The Simpsons, right? Now imagine bringing that chaotic charm into the world of LEGO bricks. So for that reason, the people over at LEGO teamed up with The Simpsons in 2014 to release sets inspired by the show. But there was a twist, because The Simpsons isn't exactly a kids-only kind of show, with its fair share of grown-up humor as well. This left parents wondering if these LEGO sets were appropriate for the youngsters or not. A company spokesperson reassured everyone that these sets were designed primarily for the fans of the show, and there's nothing wrong with them. But it did get really close to being banned. How about the construction worker catcall sticker? So a dad out there named Josh Stearns stumbled upon a sticker featuring a construction worker minifigure with the cringeworthy catcall, "Hey babe," and not finding it funny at all, he took his complaint public. And guess what? It gained some serious attention. LEGO didn't just respond once to the matter either, but also twice. But nonetheless, LEGO acknowledged the issue, apologized for the sticker, and assured him that the steps would be taken to avoid such blunders in the future. So would you get mad over this sticker? It almost got banned because of this dad can't take in a joke. Jabba the Hutt's mosque. LEGO and Star Wars seem like a match made in geek heaven, right? Well, usually yes, but there was this one set that caused quite a stir. The Jabba the Hutt's palace set from the LEGO Star Wars line had a bit of controversy in the past, because some folks out there felt like it bore a striking resemblance to real mosques in places like Istanbul and Lebanon. And a Turkish community in Austria was particularly vocal about the set, claiming that it was disrespectful and very offensive. And as word spread that the set might be discontinued due to the controversy, LEGO stepped in to clarify. They stated that the set was simply being retired after its 2-year run, not because of any bias. But do you think that was a real reason, or did it get banned because of all the controversy? But still sticking to Star Wars here, because this is LEGO Clone Wars Twilight. The Star Wars universe, a place of epic battles, intergalactic politics, and let's face it, some polarizing eras as well. Well, the LEGO Clone Wars Twilight set takes us straight back to a time where debates raged on about the direction of the series. If you thought the current state of the Star Wars fandom was divided now, yeah, sorry Revenge of the Sith fans, well, this particular era might have just been equally tumultuous, if not more so. The Clone Wars Twilight set didn't escape the scrutiny at all. Hardcore fans weren't holding back on their opinions, but why? Well, for starters, the set was met with the complaints about its price tag, often deemed steep, especially for what it was offering. But it wasn't just about the cost, as fans felt that the set failed to capture the essence of the beloved Star Wars saga, leaving many nostalgic souls disappointed. Reviews ended up pouring in, and they weren't exactly showering the set with glowing remarks. I mean, a lot of people didn't like it, and for that reason, it was almost taken off the shelves. But what about more Star Wars, like LEGO Pod Racing? Now we're moving on to pod racing, the heart-pounding, high-speed competition that divided Star Wars fans during the prequels. Amid the controversy surrounding, however, of episodes 1 to 3, there were a few things most could agree on. Darth Maul? Yeah, awesome. The memes? Oh, legendary. Pod racing? Undeniably cool. Until, well, LEGO decided to give it a spin. Enter LEGO's pod racing set, and well, things took a bit of a nosedive with this one. While pod racing had us on the edge of our seats in the movies, this LEGO incarnation didn't quite hit the same high notes. Imagine Anakin Skywalker's infamous line, "I don't like sand," but directed at a poorly executed LEGO set instead. Next is LEGO's partnership with Shell. Remember those days when LEGO sets proudly featured the Shell logo, bringing a touch of the real world into our imaginative creations? Well, those days saw a twist when environmental crusaders Greenpeace stepped into the picture. They weren't exactly thrilled about LEGO cozying up to an oil giant. So basically, climate change. And in a bold move, Greenpeace produced a poignant video featuring LEGO minifigures drowning in a sea of black oil, making a statement against the partnership. Again, because of climate change. And the result? Well, LEGO and Shell's alliance was short-lived, coming to an abrupt halt in 2014. LEGO initially debated the matter with Greenpeace, arguing that the issue lay more with Shell than with them, but however, that didn't help though, because the collaboration ultimately ceased, showcasing the influence of real-world concerns on colorful plastic playsets. So their contract was banned. LEGO Mr. Gold. Remember the thrill of finding one of those exclusive golden tickets in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Well, LEGO decided to harness that excitement with their own vision. They unleashed 5,000 Mr. Gold figures into the wild, hidden within random minifigure packs. And oh boy, did fans catch a fever.
We got this!
The LEGO community was whipped into a frenzy as they embarked on a treasure hunt for the epic proportions. Everybody wanted their hands on a Mr. Gold. Even I did, and I ordered a fake one when I was younger. I got scammed. But the journey to find Mr. Gold wasn't without its twists and turns. And when the dust settled and the lucky ones got their hands on the golden figure, there was a collective realization that the allure of gold couldn't entirely mask some quality issues. And let's just put it this way, not every Mr. Gold was really considered gold. I mean, look at some of these errors, and really popular amongst fans, but didn't quite go well because, well, we all wanted a Mr. Gold, and even the ones that got it, some of them weren't perfect. LEGO's Lando Calrissian mishap. Long ago in the LEGO galaxy, the faces of all minifigures shared a universal color, a bright and sunny yellow. But why? Well, it allowed anyone playing with these figures to imagine characters from all walks of life. It was a creative blank canvas until a certain smooth-talking character entered the scene. Lando Calrissian, as charismatic as he is, unwittingly sparked a discussion. You see, when LEGO embraced the Star Wars universe, a change was needed. Every character wearing that iconic yellow suddenly clashed with reality, and a reality that should include diverse skin tones. LEGO ended up stepping up, altering their approach to depict not only real races, but also a richer spectrum of human diversity in their sets. But initially, when the set did come out for the first time, people were confused, and it did spark quite the concern. LEGO Death Camp. In 1996, Polish artist Zbigniew Liberia had a bold idea that would spark a major debate involving LEGO. Libera reached out to the LEGO group for bricks without revealing his plans, and the company, unaware of his intentions, provided him with the bricks for his creation. However, when the world caught a glimpse of Libera's finished work, shockwaves rippled through. He had used LEGO bricks to construct a replica of the concentration camp reminiscent of Auschwitz. That's not funny at all. And if you don't know what that is, well, do a history lesson. What seemed like an attempt at dark humor was actually Libera's way of making a powerful artistic statement, aiming to invoke deep reflection rather than trivialize the Holocaust. And while LEGO initially wanted the artwork to remain unseen, but over time they let go of their objections, and despite the years of controversy and attempts at censorship, Libera's piece can now be found on display at the Museum of Modern Art in Warsaw, Poland. But don't think this is an official set or anything, and if it even was, it would probably be banned pretty quickly because very controversial. LEGO Police Products. In 2020, the tragic death of George Floyd ignited ignited nationwide protests against police brutality and racism. This movement rippled into unexpected corners, including the toy industry as well. And a prominent trade publication, the Toy Book, then unveiled an email from Rakuen Linkshare on behalf of LEGO that raised eyebrows. The email urged affiliate marketers to halt marketing efforts for specific LEGO products, notably those featuring police officers, firefighters, criminals, emergency vehicles, and related buildings. Sets such as the LEGO City Police Station, Fire Station, and even the White House Builder set were included in this list. The LEGO City Donut Shop opening set featuring a police officer and a crook figures was also flagged. I mean, they were just going after everything. But yeah, can you imagine that all these different LEGO products could have gotten banned over this? LEGO Technic V22 Osprey canceled. On July 21st, 2020, LEGO made a surprising announcement. They were canceling the release of the LEGO Technic V22 Osprey set, a real vehicle used by various military forces. But strangely enough, just 10 days before it's scheduled to release on August 1st, LEGO pulled the plug on the Osprey and just didn't release it. They swiftly removed it from their website and informed retailers that the set wouldn't be hitting the shelves for some apparent reason. In their official statement, LEGO cited their long-standing policy against creating sets based on real military vehicles. So this set did get banned before it even got released. LEGO Ideas and the Legend of Zelda. If you've wandered into the realm of LEGO Ideas, you're likely familiar with the creative hub where fans can pitch their dream LEGO set ideas to all kinds of people. Now, if your dreams involve crafting a LEGO version of the Legend of Zelda, I've got some news for you. It's a no-go from here on out. Brick Fanatics has reported that the LEGO has slammed the door on Zelda-themed items. The culprit? It's the dreaded license conflict. When attempting to submit a concept tied to an existing IP like Zelda, the site sends up a red flag. Mario Bros, same deal. Pokemon, license clash again thanks to Mega Constructs. And fans have previously taken a shot at Zelda-themed sets, even pushing some through the review stage, but all were eventually shut down. The only thing that has made a LEGO set for itself so far is Mario. The reasons might remain shrouded in mystery, but one thing's for sure, many wouldn't mind a LEGO Field Hyrule Castle in their collection, but good luck getting that because this thing was banned before it was even allowed to make the review stage. LEGO's A to Z of Awesome LGBTQ campaign. Last year, the LEGO Group embarked on a colorful journey with its A to Z of Awesome campaign. Dedicated to spotlighting the stories and identities of individuals in the LGBTQ community. And in a bid to spread awareness and inclusivity, the campaign featured videos showcasing LEGO building sets crafted by LGBTQ adult fans of the iconic brand. These sets weren't just about bricks though, because they were also about reflections of personal journeys. Among them were heartwarming scenes of same-sex families, bringing an added layer of representation into the brick world. However, as often happens with initiatives pushing for inclusivity, pushback did emerge from this set. The LEGO Group faced conservative boycott calls fueled by false claims that the campaign was targeted at children. Unfortunately, this led to a bit of a downturn for the company, so yeah, still out there, but didn't do the best. LEGO 75309 Republic Gunship designer video controversy. In 2021, the LEGO Group once again found itself in a pickle as it removed the designer video for the 75309 Republic Gunship from its YouTube channel. This move came in response to an outpouring of discontent from Star Wars fans. And since its unveiling, the Ultimate Collector Series, or UCS, set has been wrapped in controversy. Most of the fuss revolved around quotes from the design team and decisions by LEGO's marketing department. The designer video, starring LEGO designer Hans Burkhard Schlammer, should have been an opportunity to shine light on the design process behind this colossal prequel trilogy ship. However, it instead added fuel to the already roaring fire leading to its removal. Uploaded a full month after the 3,292-piece set's release, the video featured insights from Hans, but it was two specific quotes that ignited the turmoil. First, Hans referred to the Republic gunship as an original trilogy vehicle, despite its appearance in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, a clear part of the prequel trilogy. And the second was Hans doubling down on earlier comments where he called the included Clone Commander minifigure a makeshift pilot. The aftermath, a deluge of dislikes and a wave of negative comments on the video promoted by the LEGO Group to yank it from their YouTube channel entirely. So yeah, this set did get a lot of hate after, maybe even almost taken down, but it's all because of the really big LEGO Star Wars fans. LEGO Women of NASA. In 2017, LEGO pulled back the curtain on their inspiring Women of NASA collection. This captivating lineup was born from the creativity of a winner in the second 2016 LEGO Ideas review. Sharing the exciting news was the company's marketing manager, Lee Steidensberg, who enthusiastically delivered the announcement via a video shared across their blog and social media channels. The collection was all set to feature remarkable figures like NASA researcher Katherine Johnson, a real-life inspiration behind the character in an Oscar-nominated film, Hidden Figures. The anticipation was high, and the fans were ready to dive into the space theme wonders. However, as often the case, trolls emerged from the depths to rain on the parade. Amidst the buzz, some voices criticized the collection. One naysayer opined that the set's minifigures and micro builds weren't worth the investment, claiming the value just wasn't there. Then there were some more people who decided to sprinkle some controversy, citing LEGO's prohibition on projects involving politics and political symbols. This individual called the feminist LEGO set hypocritical. The comments managed to cover quite a range, dismissing the movement, labeling women as oppressors, and even denying the existence of white privilege. So yeah, this led to some pretty crazy turn of events. It's just a LEGO set about women astronauts. Who cares, right? Set 6951 Robot Command Center. Let's rewind to the vibrant mid-1980s when LEGO was deep into its captivating astronaut theme. Among the gems of that era was Set 6951 Robot Command Center. Sporting those iconic astronaut minifigures and a rather peculiar space structure, this set won the hearts of many young builders out there, and that's what truly matters, doesn't it? Now, this set is no dud, but the whole concept of a command center takes a dive into the realm of strange. Imagine a structure with legs, and not just any legs, but arms too? Instead of regular eyes, it boasts windows, but the cherry on top of this odyssey? Those tiny feet that somehow keep the whole thing upright. Yeah. How on earth does this robot-ish entity maintain its balance even? The creators seem to have ventured into uncharted imaginative territory. Of course, we get it though because it's a robot command center, and the center itself embodies a robot-esque design. So, logically, the building is the robot taking orders, or something along those lines. Yet, no matter how you slice it, the result is a delightful blend of cute, confusing, and unquestionably weird. So, this one didn't get banned or anything, but it definitely drew some eyeballs. Now, Set 1853 Hypno Cruiser. It's time to enter the realm of Set 1853 Hypno Cruiser, a piece of a much debated Time Cruisers theme which, let's face it, wasn't exactly LEGO's crown jewel. It's almost as if the creators rifled through the parts bin of overproduced pieces from yesteryears, and the result, a touch of gimmicky charm. Sometimes words fall short and a picture takes the stage. However, even the visuals might struggle to capture the eccentric essence of this set. Prepare for a delightful oddity in every nook and cranny, because the Hypno Cruiser, for starters, is a melange of bricks harvested from diverse themes, creating a tapestry of design influences. Accessories, seemingly curated to embody various eras the vehicle can venture to, come across as arbitrary and oddly placed. And then the plot twist. The monkey. Yes, the monkey. Yes, you read that right. A monkey that makes an appearance. The mystery of why a monkey found its way to this quirky mix remains unsolved too. So definitely a weird set, and it didn't get banned or anything, but again, a lot of controversy. Set 6496 Whirling Time Warper. Continuing our stroll through the eccentric world of the Time Cruisers theme, we land on the Set 6496 Whirling Time Warper. Well, brace yourselves, because in this corner of LEGO history, overproduced and discontinued parts come together to craft a tapestry of design that's uniquely chaotic. Now, let's be clear, choosing only one Time Cruiser set to spotlight was a challenge, but we simply couldn't resist the Whirling Time Warper. It might just out-weird the Hypno Cruiser, and that's saying something. This set is essentially a psychedelic trip encapsulated in bricks. It's a melting pot of oddity that's likely to leave your head spinning for a pretty long time. So why, you ask? The answer lies in the mind-boggling array of movable items that populate this set, complete with the unexpected addition of a ghost. It's as if the creators tossed every curious element they could think of, resulting in a masterpiece of perplexity. What do these moving parts and spectral figures signify? Your guess is as good as mine, and I'm willing to bet even the LEGO designers might have been caught off guard by the peculiar puzzle they conjured. Wow, I can't speak right now. Set 2539 Fright Knight's Batwing Flyer. Within the Fright Night sub-theme lies this gem, the Batwing Flyer, a modest introductory set packing a punch with its Batlord minifigure, radiating a super cool aura. Notably though, LEGO also rolled out a similar set featuring the Batlord along with a crystal ball. But what truly sets this sub-theme apart is its pioneering introduction of the Bat figure and the crystal ball accessory making waves in the LEGO universe. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on this masterpiece, because take a moment to absorb its essence, because yes, it's exactly what you're thinking. You're looking at a scene that encapsulates a medieval warrior astride a medieval flying contraption. It's a scenario that could only happen in the world of LEGO, where imagination knows no bounds. So go ahead and consider this case officially closed, because LEGO did that, somehow. 4 Animal Friends. Traveling back to 1979 when Scala made its debut, take a brief hiatus in 1980 before resurfacing in 1997. This theme was crafted with young girls in mind, offering a range of minifigures and accessories that differed from the norm. With an exclusive focus on cuteness, jewelry, accessories, and furniture, Scala captured hearts with its doll-like minifigures. But hold on to your bricks, because if you thought the Friends team raised an eyebrow, Scala might just boggle your imagination, well, even more. It's an aesthetic departure from the typical LEGO look for sure, but a choice that seems to define the theme. Because picture this, a peculiar picnic scenario featuring a Dalmatian, a cat, a litter of kittens. The animals themselves comes in sizes that might leave you questioning their scale, and then there are the accessories, picnic blanket, jars, plates, and various bits of food that could potentially baffle animal dietary habits. But here's what gets even more curious. While Scala probably intended these pieces to interact with human Scala dolls, the Scene Sans dolls translates into a rather odd spectacle. It's akin to a dog, a cat, and their kittens stepping out for an unconventional date. A visual that, while intriguing, might not exactly conjure the coziest mental image. So I think this set did pretty bad. Now let's talk about an epic set, Dino Jet. Now venture back to 1998, once again, a time when the Znap theme took its bow onto the LEGO stage. But there's a catch. This scene bore a striking resemblance to Connect's building sets, igniting a spark of controversy. Despite the critique, Znap introduced a collection of intriguing pieces ideal for crafting an array of vehicles, buildings, and bridges as well. Znap, as a theme, had an inherent quirkiness, but among its peculiar offerings, set 3551 Dino Jet takes the cake for bewilderment. At its core, this creation is meant to be a vehicle, quite possibly a jet as well. At least that's what the creators want us to believe. Yeah. Yet here's the scoop. It's a jet that doesn't look like a jet. Scratch that. It doesn't even resemble anything recognizable. Period. A dash of trust in the creative process seems necessary. As for the box's design concepts too, well, brace yourself for the ensemble of visuals that mirror the perplexity of the Dino Jet itself. Znap, as a theme, embraced its oddball nature with open arms, making a mark on LEGO history with its distinct peculiarity, and, well, it didn't last long on shelves. Let's just put it that way. Set 4095-1, Record and Play. While the creator themes often dance on the edge of imaginative design, this set's appearance raises eyebrows, no doubt. Gazing upon it, one might see a robotic insect, a peculiar choice to say the least. Yes, the box showcases other possibilities, yet the initial impression still leans towards the odd. Record and Play? But what exactly? This is an audio recorder with a twist? Why does it sport an insect-like physique? The pieces don't even align. Even after reading the instructions, the bewilderment lingers. Amidst the myriad robot shapes that could have been conjured, they settled on a colossal insect. The query remains, LEGO, what was the thought process here? As I embrace the intricity of the Record and Play set, I can't help but raise an amused eyebrow as to what was the creative leap here, and, well, that does explain why it didn't do that well. Next up, Manta Warrior. Puzzling, isn't it? A set so minuscule that you can't help but ponder its purpose. Why? You might even ask, does a set of such petite stature exist in the first place? Well, beyond the perplexity, there's a charismatic minifigure, the Manta Warrior, who undoubtedly exudes coolness. However, the set's components tell a rather modest story. 13 brick pieces comprise its entirety. Yes, you heard that right. 13 pieces to conjure a world. 13 pieces in a LEGO set. Yet within these confines, you can craft a humble rock, the sole creation accompanying this valiant warrior. And that's also why this humble rock didn't quite do well in terms of sales with LEGO. Now, feast your eyes on Giant Spider. Are spiders the stuff of shivers? For many, the answer is a resounding yes. Yet the narrative surrounding these creatures often sways between reality and pop culture portrayal. Much like sharks, spiders have been cast as villainous figures, invoking terror in the hearts of many. However, diving into the animal kingdom's realm of aggression, spiders hardly secure a top spot. I have so many questions, and I think that's why not many people bought it unless they like spiders. Belleville Rosita's Wonderful Stable 5833. In the year 2001, the fairy tale series welcomed the Belleville set 5833 Rosita's Wonderful Stable. A seemingly modern addition to the collection, it proves to be a peculiar entry to the eyes of many. While anticipation looms large, this set's portrayal of a wonderful and stable leaves much to be desired. As the package is unveiled, the aspired wonderful remains elusive. The set comprises as an assemble a delicate doll graced with an umbrella, a horse, a castle-style wall, only 2 bricks crowned by a turret. The puzzle emerges, and how can a single castle-style wall claim that mantle of a stable? A question that bewilders many. But we're not done there, because this is Belleville Garden Fun. So imagine this. There's a girl in a swing enjoying her time in the garden. Now, Belleville sets are kind of known for being all about that pink life. It's like they ask, how much pink can we cram in here? Instead of asking, is this a set even cool at all? But here's the thing. Even though the swings are usually loads of fun, this set doesn't really scream excitement. If you check out the picture, the girl seems kind of bored, and even that blob-like thing that's supposed to be a cat doesn't seem impressed either. Plus, let's be real here. She's not exactly following the how to swing safely rulebook either. My mom would have had a field day if I tried that. Hulk Helicopter Rescue 76144. Now let's talk about the Hulk Helicopter Rescue set. Buckle up, because we've got some highs and lows here. Get it? Because it's a helicopter. helicopter. First off, there are some seriously awesome parts to this set. We're talking about the rescue figure. It's top notch. And don't even get me started on the Iron Man Nano Gauntlet. I mean, that thing's just awesome too. Oh, and the Hulk big figure? Yeah, pretty great that they thought there was room for improvement there. Yeah, pretty great nonetheless, but though there was some room for improvement. They went with the Quantum Realm look for Hulk, which is a good call because the Avengers compound version would have kind of been meh. But you know what would have been even better? If they went the extra mile and gave Hulk some snazzy arm and leg designs. Like seriously, that wouldn't have taken things to a whole new level. So yeah, these are some real gems of the set. All right, now comes the moment of truth where we will talk about the not so great stuff. Black Widow. What are you doing here? This set came out a bit after Endgame and it wasn't hitting the shelves until way later in the year. So you think that they'd be all up to date, right? Well, nope. They just threw in Black Widow. Like, who? Let's be honest, it didn't quite make through to the movie. It's like they didn't get the memo. They could have given us an exclusive Ronin Hawkeye figure, which was a big deal early on in the movie hype. But no, they just stuck with Black Widow. And you know what's even weirder? Back in 2017, LEGO swapped out a figure in a Star Wars set, so they totally could have done it here. So they just took the lazy route, and that showed. And last but not least too, well, those Chitauri figures. They were way cooler back in 2012, no doubt about it. Sure, they gave them a better face print this time around, but seriously, LEGO, no leg printing? After 8 years, they downgraded from having leg prints to just not having them at all? Yeah, it's a bummer, and folks were rightfully disappointed with this set, which I don't think it did that well for that reason. Oh, we're about to end it off real good. Spider-Man versus Doc Ock. So first things first, the minifigures weren't all that bad with this one. Spider-Man, for one, was actually a pretty decent one. They hooked him with a dual molded legs, which was a nice touch. Now, Spider-Girl, she's a newer character, so I was stoked they included her in the mix. She's got this simple vibe going on with her minifigure, but here's the kicker. Where's the leg printing, right? And then there's Doc Ock, who's undeniably cool, but then again, the same question. Where's the leg printing, LEGO? It's like a broken record by now. They just gotta up their leg printing game. Now brace yourself because the build is where things go a bit off the rails. Can you believe they gave Spider-Man a bike? I mean, seriously, this is Spider-Man we're talking about. The dude who swings through the city on webs like it's his morning jog. So the idea of him needing a bike is a bit, well, weird. You'd think Peter Parker might need it, but not Spider-Man. Let's not forget, this bike is anything but sleek. It's got legs sticking out all over the place like it's trying to do splits midair. Yeah, call it nitpicking, but come on, that bike's design is just not cutting it out. Let's be real. But wait, there's more. It doesn't end there, because you won't believe this. That atrocious bike that can actually transform into a mini Spider Walker and an unfinished looking bike. I mean, why in the world does Spider-Girl need a slow walker to fight? It's a head scratcher, no doubt, and I don't understand why they did it. Like, who's in the LEGO boardroom making these calls? It's like they took the whole thinking outside the box thing just a bit too far. And honestly, that's not enough ranting about this set. It's got its quirks for sure, but let's just say it's not winning any awards for best LEGO Marvel creation anytime soon.
So if you're into LEGO ideas, you might have heard about this next mistake. The LEGO Flintstones set was supposed to be the 24th LEGO Ideas set, and it still holds that title. But here's where it gets interesting. The next set that came out after that was Steamboat Willie, and guess what? It was also labeled as number 24. That's pretty weird, isn't it? LEGO did not bother changing the number for this set. They kept selling it with the number 24 on it for quite a while before finally fixing it. It actually took consumers pointing out the mistake to LEGO. Even on their official website, you could buy the set with the wrong number on it. Eventually, LEGO acknowledged the error and said they would fix it for future sets. Now there are Steamboat Willie sets out there with both numbers 24 and 25. So, if you're a completionist trying to collect all the sets, does that mean you need to grab both versions? Or no? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's move on to the LEGO catalogs, because they're always a mixed bag of surprises. Take this LEGO City page, for example. They accidentally featured the same set twice, with different names, but the exact same picture. Looks like someone forgot to swap out the image. At least they got the names and prices right, though. Then there's this classic blunder in an old catalog where they mixed up Minecraft characters, labeling the villager as a zombie and vice versa. And they've also got the mix-up with Frodo and Gandalf in one of the Lord of the Rings sets. Next, let's talk about a big mistake in the Batman movie collectible minifigures line. Inside each blind bag, you usually get this little checklist or pamphlet showing all of the characters. Well, one character, Catman, got a bit misrepresented. On the brick-built version of him, his legs are yellow on top and brown on the bottom. But on the checklist for number 16, it's the other way around. Brown on top, yellow on the bottom. someone didn't quite match up the colors right. It's a pretty noticeable difference that slipped through the cracks before they mass-produced them and stuffed them all into those foil bags. If you're a fan of the LEGO Star Wars Rogue One sets, you gotta check this out. A rogue error was discovered on Krennic's Imperial Shuttle Set 75156. On the front of the box, K2SO is shown without a blaster, but on the back, the battle scene depicts K2SO with a blaster, along with 2 Death Troopers with medium blasters. This caused some confusion as the set does not include a blaster for K2SO. The parts list in the instruction manual was checked, confirming that only 2 medium blasters for the Death Troopers are included. This indicates that the battle scene on the box is incorrect, likely reflecting an earlier design where K2SO had a blaster, which was later changed. Although K2SO does not come with a blaster, this should clarify any concerns about a missing blaster. It's simply a box printing error. Next up is the Smooth Hair Leia minifigure. It's a rare and super cool version that showed up in early 2009 LEGO Star Wars sets and some 2006 X-Wing sets. Instead of having the usual detailed bumpy hair, this Princess Leia has smooth hair. This happened because the wrong mold was used on the assembly line. Now, these minifigures are considered collectibles and can sell for about $200 each on sites like eBay and Bricklink. Collectors love them because they're rare and have an interesting story about how they were made by mistake. Next in line is the LEGO Ideas Wall-E set that came out in 2015. It had this big problem where the head would just keep swiveling too much, making the whole thing wobbly and not fun to play with. Because of this mess, they had to recall it in North America and push back the release in Europe, which was supposed to happen on September 1st, 2015. LEGO finally admitted they goofed up about 2 months after the first release. They tried to fix it by sending out new instructions and parts to make the head work better by December 2015. Those who snagged the set before the fix got hooked up with these new parts, so their Wall-E wouldn't be all wonky anymore. So, in the beginning, the LEGO Back to the Future Time Machine set had a bit of a hiccup. They printed SHIELD as SHIELD, with the E before I on the flux capacitor panel in the first batches. Not exactly matching the movie there. When they caught the mistake, the LEGO Kuso team stepped up and apologized. They even offered to swap out the wrong pieces for anyone who wanted the correct version. Pretty cool move by LEGO, wouldn't you say? It meant that fans and collectors could get a more spot-on version of the iconic time-traveling machine from the movies. Okay, so let's talk about the LEGO Ant-Man set from back in 2015. There was this big issue with the legs of the main build. They just couldn't handle too much weight and would give out, which is a total bummer. This problem messed with how sturdy and fun the set was supposed to be. Originally, it was supposed to hit the shelves on June 1st, 2015, but a lot of stores had to pull it off pretty quickly. They came back with the fix later in June, adding 6 more Technic axles to beef up the legs and make them stronger. The faulty sets got recalled and taken out of circulation. It's kinda cool though. Because of all this drama, the set's become a hot item for collectors. Back in 2009, LEGO had to do a quick recall on its Power Functions IR Speed Remote because it had this big problem where it would get way too hot. Even though nobody got hurt, it was still a pretty serious safety issue, but LEGO did not mess around. They pulled the remotes off the shelves fast. About a month later, they brought them back, all fixed up and safe to use. You can still snag one of these remotes on LEGO's website, showing that they take safety seriously and want to make sure their products are top-notch. Now, there was this LEGO Technic Porsche 911 GT3 RS set that came out for a hefty $300. But the crazy thing is, the gears were all out of order. Instead of the usual 1, 2, 3, 4 sequence, they went 1, 3, 2, 4. Imagine the confusion for all the car buffs and LEGO lovers who wanted that authentic gear action. But hold up, LEGO had an explanation. They claimed they did it on purpose to make the model run smoother. Apparently, if they stuck to the correct gear sequence, too many gears would be engaged at once, messing with how well the model worked. Of course, don't worry, they didn't leave gearheads hanging. LEGO provided instructions to tweak the gear sequence for those who wanted their Porsche to operate just like the real deal, even if it meant sacrificing a bit of that smooth ride. Moving on, we've got the 2015 LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar, which hit a little snag with its packaging. It claimed to have this exclusive Darth Vader minifigure, but here's the twist. That figure was actually from the 2014 calendar. LEGO had to do some quick thinking to fix this blunder, especially in Europe, where the release got held up. They ended up sending out stickers to stores to cover up the wrong info on the packaging. Can't have people thinking that they're getting something that they're not, right? The whole mix-up just goes to show how important it is to get the packaging details right. Now, back in 2006, LEGO rolled out the NXT Intelligent Brick, which was pretty cool. But by 2011, some problems started popping up with the displays. For example, they'd flicker or just stop working in sets like 8527, 9797, and 9841. Of course, LEGO did not just sit around twiddling their thumbs. They got their ambassador group on it, spreading the word to users and telling them to hit them up for replacements. It wasn't a huge disaster or anything, but having wonky displays definitely put a damper on the fun. Props to LEGO for stepping up and making things right for their customers. Alright, so in 2016, LEGO dropped the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 and 2 set, which was pretty hyped. Now, there are 3 different versions of the figure Holtzman that were featured in the promo pics. There was one without glasses, one with goggles, and one with glasses. However, when fans got their hands on the actual set, they only got 2 of those versions. The one with glasses but no vest was nowhere to be found. Talk about a letdown. To make matters worse, LEGO did not announce any more Ghostbuster sets after that, which left fans scratching their heads about this weird mix-up. Now, if you're already a huge LEGO fan back in 2010, I'm sure you know that LEGO dropped their big-time Technic set, the motorized excavator. But guess what? It received some criticism right off the bat for its weak digging arm. People were bummed because the arm just could not handle the heavy lifting. Turns out, the linear actuator could not handle the strain, especially with all those gear wheels in the mix. So after just 2 weeks on the shelves in August 2010, LEGO pulled it back to the drawing board. When it came back in October though, it was like a whole new machine. They beefed up the arm with extra actuators and a few extra pieces, making it way stronger. And you know what? It worked like a charm. Technic fans were all over it, loving the upgrade. Technic Bricks even did a detailed breakdown comparing the old and new parts to show off the improvement. Diving into the LEGO White House set from the architecture line, we come across a major goof to the instruction manual. If your knowledge of the White House might not be top-notch, let's just say that there's an East Wing and a West Wing. As you're cruising through the build and moving to the West Wing section in the manual, there's something quite off. The instructions had the West and East Wings all mixed up. Page 84 should have been the East Wing, but it had West Wing info. Talk about confusing. Many fans online had noticed this as well. Apparently, LEGO had fixed it for online instructions in future sets, but if you were one of those who got them upon release, you got the short end of the stick. Although this doesn't ruin the build, it's definitely puzzling. I mean, how did something like this slip through quality control? This is why it's super important to double check things before hitting print. Despite the mix-up though, the set itself is still pretty cool. So back in 2015, LEGO hit a huge blunder when they had to pull back 129,000 sets because of a mess up with gray colors. Instead of the dark gray bits they were supposed to have, they ended up with light gray ones. Turns out, someone in their bill on factory slapped the wrong color label on a tube. This mistake alone cost them around $1 million, but luckily, they caught it before the sets hit the shelves. Still, they had to hustle, calling in people from the Czech Republic and Hungary to sort things out. To avoid future oopsies, they dropped around $58,000 on changing up the factory lighting and letting workers pre-print color labels. Despite the setback, LEGO's overall revenue in 2016 was sky high, nearly hitting $5 billion. Oh, and the person behind the mix-up? They didn't catch any consequences for it. Inside a LEGO Club magazine from January to February 2013, there's an ad featuring LEGO sets inspired by The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey. Now, let's say your favorite character is Bomber. Try to match the name with a corresponding LEGO figure, but wait, something seems off. According to the LEGO ad, Bomber had been mislabeled as Bofer. It's a small but glaring error that leaves you scratching your head. And guess what? The mistakes don't end there. Although a bit disappointing to discover such errors in a beloved brand like LEGO, it's also a reminder that even the most reputable companies can slip up from time to time. How many mistakes can you spot in this picture? Now, in the LEGO Creator Harley Fatboy set, there's this sticker that's supposed to say Milwaukee 8, but guess what? Yup, another spelling mistake. Instead of Milwaukee, it's spelled as Milwalk, completely forgetting the other E. Pretty minor mistake, but it definitely takes away from the set's packaging vibe. So you've got this R2-D2 LEGO figure, right? It looks fine when you first check it out, but if you really take a look, you'll notice something off. The colors on different parts aren't quite lining up like they should. It's a small detail, but it definitely messes with the figure's overall look. But it's not just about the aesthetics, because this printing goof actually affects how much collectors are willing to pay for it. Now, this classic yellow space minifigure doesn't seem quite right. The torso's print is leaning to one side instead of sitting straight like it should. It's not a huge deal, but it definitely throws off the balance and symmetry of the minifigure. Despite that, collectors are all over it, selling at a whopping $1,200 and even higher. Now check out this Stormtrooper head. Yeah, it's got a little issue. The eyes are all wrong. It is totally different from the usual design. It's definitely noticeable, and it kinda messes with the whole look of the character. And guess what? The selling price of this Stormtrooper misprint is $75. Believe it or not, there's this Tusken Raider LEGO minifigure that's causing quite a stir in the collector's world. What's the big deal? Well, this particular one has a face print that's slightly lower than it should be. It's a subtle misprint, but it's got collectors going wild. So wild, in fact, that this little guy is selling for a jaw-dropping $5,000. Now, that's a pretty penny for a tiny plastic figure. But hey, when you're a die-hard LEGO fan, you will pay top dollar for those rare gems. Now, speaking of pricey minifigures, there's this Spider-Gwen minifigure here. It looks pretty normal, except for one little detail. Her torso is printed on the wrong color body. Instead of the usual white body, it's sitting on an orange one. Now, you might think, what's the big deal? Well, this seemingly small error has turned this Spider-Gwen into a hot commodity among collectors. In fact, it's currently on the market for a mind-blowing $10,000. That's correct. 5 figures for just a tiny plastic figure. So let's talk about the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle Set 71043. Now, this set is a real gem for any Harry Potter fan, but unfortunately, some customers have encountered a bit of a hiccup upon cracking open the box. Missing pieces. Yep, you heard that right. Despite LEGO's usually top-notch quality control, a few folks have found themselves with incomplete sets due to errors in packaging. Now, don't worry too much. It's not a widespread issue, but it's definitely a bummer for those who've experienced it. Luckily, LEGO's customer service is known for being pretty stellar, so if you find yourself in this situation, they should be able to help you out and get those missing pieces sorted. Now, this C3PO minifigure with a red leg is a fun example of a LEGO misprint, adding an unexpected twist to the iconic Star Wars character. Normally, C3PO is completely gold, so the red leg here really stands out. This misprint shows C3PO with one red leg instead of his usual gold one, making it a noticeable and rare mistake that collectors find intriguing and potentially valuable. Interestingly, this misprint reminds fans of C3PO's red arm in The Force Awakens, even though it's his leg that is red here. Collectors love misprints because they're rare and unique. A C3PO with a red leg could be a valuable addition to a LEGO collection. Depending on interest and condition, this misprint could sell for a good amount. The two-faced head misprint is a rare and interesting LEGO mistake, where a minifigure head gets printed twice, resulting in 2 side-by-side faces. This happens due to a glitch in the printing machine, causing the head to be stamped again while the ink from the first stamp is still wet. A misprint like this can sell for up to $250. Even though it's a mistake, the two-faced head has a quirky charm. The mix of facial features can make it look like a piece of abstract art, appealing to both LEGO fans and art lovers. So this brown arch brick with a hole-in-one stud and an incomplete front is a cool example of a LEGO manufacturing mistake. This kind of error, known as a short shot, happens when there's not enough plastic injected into the mold, leaving parts of the piece incomplete. This can be due to a blockage, low plastic levels, or incorrect settings on the machine. Sometimes, debris in the mold can also cause these issues. The Tasmanian Devil minifigure with eye placement issues is a humorous example of a LEGO misprint, where the eyes of the character are printed in the wrong position, resulting in a comical expression. Instead of being properly aligned, the eyes appear low and skewed to one side. Despite being a mistake, the misaligned eyes give the Tasmanian Devil minifigure a unique and endearing quality, making it a desirable addition to collectors who appreciate unusual LEGO finds. And last on the list, we've got the Spider-Man Final Battle Set's instruction booklet, which was a bit of a mess. It was printed sideways and stapled on the wrong side, making it a headache to follow. It's like trying to build with the manual flipped on its side and all jumbled up. While wonky instructions aren't as exciting as misprinted pieces, they're still cool finds for collectors. Dealing with them makes you rely more on your own skills, turning building into a bit of a puzzle. Despite the potential frustration, it's pretty satisfying to conquer the challenge and finish the set anyway. Which LEGO mistake did you find interesting? Leave a comment below and let us know what other LEGO mistakes you may have encountered. Thanks for watching.